Hi, bitch.
All right. Greetings, salutations. It is I, it is us, it is him. Wax Chronicles, we're back. It's trade deadline day, February 10th. One of the best days of the year. We got one of the other best days of the year coming up here, All-Star weekend. But we are going to talk about the wholly original concept of talking about today's trades and what we think about them, potentially handing out some grades. He is Bailey. I'm Tanner. For our loyal listeners,
Hey, what's that going on back there? What's that all about?
For our loyal listeners, you may notice something new about the set. We have made an addition to the set. Hall of Flame. We have the Hall of Flame. So what this is,
aka the Hall of Pimps.
Yeah, the Hall of Pimps, the Hall of Pimpin'. I haven't explained this yet to Bailey because this is kind of a surprise to him as well. But we have 7 subscribers now on this channel at this point, which again,
yes.
I know
one more than Jordan, baby.
Fuck yeah. I will say one of them I know is me. One of them is you, I'm sure.
I probably got a burner on there too, dude.
Yeah, Kurt's one, Jesse's one. And so there are some people subscribe to us who haven't told us, or, maybe there are people who are part of our lives, maybe they're not. Or maybe they're real people, like the first inductee into the Hall of Flame, S. Ambush. If you are out there, if you are watching, call in to the hotline, 1-800. No, so
6969.
60, yes, 6969. But in all seriousness, S. Ambush, if you watch this video, comment down below with your favorite player, and I'll print out a picture of your favorite player, and I'll put him right next to your spot in the Hall of Flame.
And you're literally the inaugural member. You are the inaugural, the first class of the. I mean, that's pretty high praise.
It's like the Baseball Hall of Fame. If there ain't worthy motherfuckers, they ain't going in just to go in for. I say that because we have one. No, but in all seriousness, so I talked to a peek behind the curtain here. I talked to Bailey the other day about because we saw that we had an additional subscriber that was added like maybe a week and a half ago, and YouTube makes it fucking impossible to see who your subscribers are. Maybe there's a good reason for that, but S. Ambush actually joined us as a subscriber in February. I was thinking it was 2022. It was February 2021.
Oh, he's been there the whole time, dude.
For a year.
He's a day one. Day one.
This is our homie. S. Ambush is.
God, dude.
I mean, you can't be any more legend. He's like Andre the Giant in the WWE Hall of Fame.
Seriously.
But with that said, the jury is still out on who our 7th subscriber is. And so 7th subscriber, because the thing about YouTube, and I'll quit derailing this podcast before we start actually talking about
not at all, dude.
Here. At least from what I've seen, I can't figure out how the fuck to find who your subscribers are. And I don't think you can find who they are if they keep their subscriptions private. Oh. And so I look at our subscribers, I can only see like 3 people. S. Ambush is the only one of those people who has their subscriptions on like can be viewed publicly. He's the only one of the 3 who I don't know. And so S. Ambush, for that reason, you are the inaugural inductee. But with that said, the person who is recently subscribed, I don't know who it is. Bailey said,
leave a comment.
Comment your favorite player. You will be the 2nd inductee into the Hall of Flame.
And how about this? I'll up the ante. If either of you guys, non-Jesse, non-Kurt, comment or like the video with your favorite NBA player, I will personally send you a basketball card of that player if you're willing to dox yourself and give me that information. So it'll be worth your time.
The path has been laid out if you want to be inducted and have a gift sent to your house. So
who does it better? Who the fuck does it better?
So yeah, if you're a subscriber, all you gotta do is give us that information. We'd be happy to.
Yeah, just give me your mom's maiden name and your social.
Yeah, and
not even a big deal.
Birthday as well, because that might be needed. Anyway, enough about this. We still got DC. He ain't taking a backseat to no God.
Never that.
But anyway, yeah. So today's trade deadline day. There are a couple things.
Huge day.
Yeah,
huge day.
A fairly sizable day. There are a couple things I'd like to talk about before.
Sure.
We get into the trade deadline. Usually we'd save stuff like this for the end of the podcast, but I want to get this in because we got a lot of trades to talk about. So let me go to my phone, as is my typical etiquette here, because I took a picture of this information. I did some work earlier on the computer. All right, I have some general LeBron stuff I want to talk about after last night's fucking decimation. But I don't want to say, disaster is a better word. Loss to the Blazers, who have about 4 NBA players. I was crunching some numbers after last night's game. He is 428 points behind Karl Malone. So we haven't done this update in a while. So that's fucking awesome.
Yeah. I mean, that's at the rate he's going. What is that? 20 games until he passes Karl Malone? Maybe less. I mean,
428. So if he's averaging 29, that's like, 21 games.
Yeah. He's averaging like 29 a game though.
Yeah.
So and he's been scoring like crazy.
Yeah. So that's a good sign for him. I mean, I don't think anybody, if he stays healthy, I don't think anybody thinks he will.
It takes some mailman. Truly catastrophic.
So that's cool. And then more importantly, 1,887 behind Kareem. So
that's
you think, so there's a good chance that he could be 1,200 away from Kareem, 1,100 away from Kareem by the end of the season. And then at that point, we all know the classic calculation: 12.1 points per game in an 82 game season gets you to G-Bird. I think it's 12.1.
Everybody knows that.
I think
it's
12.1. I think. I just remember being so obsessed with that number. No, I think I remember being obsessed with that number because I rember looking like how much would Rasul have to score?
I think it's greater than 12.1 though. It might round 12 down to that.
Yeah, but I just remember I was like, how much would Rasul have to score to get
12.195?
12.1, dude. Learn how to round. Anyway, so that's a LeBron scoring update. We have another cool update here. 388 assists until he moves into number 4 all time on the assist.
That's crazy, man. To end up being the leading scorer in NBA history while
top and the number 4 assist man.
Yeah, when it's all said and done, I think is 3 attainable.
No, Chris Paul is 3 right now, I believe.
Okay.
And he ain't passing Chris Paul.
Well, yeah, especially because it looks like Chris Paul's gonna be playing for. I mean, now we almost have to look at Chris Paul. Like, do we dust off the John Stockton numbers? I know it's highly, highly unlikely, but we were just talking like last week about Chris Paul. What would prevent him from doing this for another 5 to 7 years if he wants to?
Dude, but that's the thing is Stockton's assist record is so fucking crazy that it's like, I don't know, maybe.
I'll say this: where before I thought Stockton's records were truly untouchable, steals and assists. It feels like they're 1% beatable, and Chris Paul's probably the last player that's ever going to have a shot at that.
Well, I mean, it'll be hard to even catch J Kidd, honestly. Like those like Stockton's assist numbers are just disgusting. But
Well, plus, Stockton like never missed a game in his career. It seemed like.
Yeah, and I mean, in terms of active players who are up there, you got Rondo and Westbrook, but they're not going to. I don't think they'll legitimately challenge LeBron. So LeBron's going to have that number 4 spot at least for a while. Like, I don't know if Trey will get there at some point someday, or maybe Luka, but that's exciting. And with that, he is 52 assists away from 10 Gs. So that will make him 10 10,000 boards, 10,000 dimes. Approaching 40,000 points. And so these are some of the landmark numbers we have discussed before where it's just fucking insane.
Yeah, it ain't happening for CP3.
Yeah, nobody's passing Stockton. It ain't happening.
Yeah,
dude.
it's CP3 right now would need 400 games at 12.5 dimes a game.
So that's like 3.5 seasons.
Yeah, that ain't not possible.
80?
Or wait.
5 seasons.
5 seasons of 12
Jesus
dimes.
Christ, nice math. Yeah, not happening, dude. Stockton, fuck you. And then finally, the fun part was, so how everybody, the 27, 7 and 7 is the LeBron. That's the stat line that's known as the LeBron, and he's never achieved it until, at least to my knowledge. I've never done the searching for myself, but you see it all the fucking time. Average is 27, 7, 7 and 7 for his career, but never has had that stat line in a game. Last night he had 27, 7 and 7.
Yeah, with
they were down by 5. He hit a buzzer beater 3 to put him to 37 and 7.
I love that, dude. I hope he never get I don't know.
I know it was just so funny, dude. Because I watched pretty much the entirety of. I watched the second half and the majority of the second quarter, but it was just crazy to me. It didn't even register in my head. They had 27, 7 and 7.
Dude,
but
I wonder
when hit that there, I was like, what the fuck?
If you were to take like I don't know, like a statistical approach and like look at his career, take every data point, right, and get like the standard deviation, and just to figure out how improbable it is that he
Or this
hasn't
is your
had that
average
stat line.
this is your
Yeah.
average over
And you've played
what,
X amount of
17
games.
years. Yeah. To
Yeah.
not get this one time.
I mean, that's got to be like close to 0% probability, right? Like that's insane. I mean, he's had, yeah, between, I mean, how many games has he played between regular season and playoffs?
Oh
Like,
God, I don't want to try that mental math in my head.
Oh my God, yeah.
Embarrass myself.
1350 in the regular season and 266 in the playoffs. Jesus, man. He's not, maybe someday. I hope it never happens, actually, though.
Well, one thing that makes me sad is like I think it's inevitable that he will not average 27 points per game for his career. I don't know. He's at 27.1 right now, I believe.
Well, yeah, and he's going up. He's getting better.
I know, but like if he's going to play 5 more years, I don't know. It would just be so fitting for his career to end with a 27-7-7 average.
Well, yeah. Well, like, because now, yeah, I'm curious. Like, yeah, I mean, he's averaging, 27.1, 7.4, 7.5.
So I think he'll be good on boards and dimes because he keeps racking those up at a decent rate.
Yeah.
But if he gets down like 20 points, 22 points per game for a season, that would hurt.
Yeah, that'd be a killer. Gosh dang, dude. I don't know. It'll be so cool once like his career's said and done, just to see where. I mean, because we've been projecting this stuff out for 10 plus years now. Mm-hmm. So, once he finally does decide to hang it up, it'll be cool to see just where he stacks up and which of his records will be, is this one insurmountable? Because I don't know. I mean, without him, that Kareem record seems kind of unlikely. Just the longevity it takes. So I don't know. Did you want to hop into trades?
Yeah, one sec. I just want to talk about, dude, like, because we don't need to talk about the Lakers because they didn't do anything today, but just watching that game last night and all the careless turnovers. I mean, they shot, I think, like 50+% from the field. I think the Blazers shot like 47, and it's just like, how many turnovers they have where it's like, what the fuck are you thinking trying that? Or
couldn't get out of their own way.
Yeah, and it's like, I know LeBron, I think he led the team in turnovers. I think he had 6 of them. He just like seemed out of it last night. He seemed like so you look at LeBron a lot of the time, he's just like laser focused, like looking around, yelling at people, telling him where to go. Last night, he just like towards the end of the game, he just seemed like he had stayed up for 20 straight days. He's just like, I mean, he even kind of alluded to that in the press conference, like, I just need to go to sleep.
Well, yeah, and they like, I don't know. People want to pretend like, oh yeah, it's the Lakers, they should be used to this kind of stuff, but it's like the media circus and the stuff that's gone on around the team this year has been like, I don't know. It seems like it's been a lot for this team, and it seems like they're not, they haven't all come together like some LeBron teams do. That chemistry and that like joy playing with each other just doesn't seem to be there where it has in the past. So I don't know. They got a lot to figure out, and they surely didn't help themselves through the trade deadline. So I don't know.
Yeah. Also, I'm not going to get into this, but just so we all are on the same page, J-Man, I did some more field research on Josh Giddey for you. I can give you the personal the personal scouting report on him if you'd like. Just let me know. So anyway, let's get to the business.
All right. I think we agreed we were going to start back with the Cam Reddish trade, which actually took place about a month ago. But that's, to me, that was kind of the first trade of like the deadline season. So it was Cam Reddish, Solomon Hill, and a 2025 second via Brooklyn to the Knicks for Kevin Knox and a protected first round pick via Charlotte. I'm not 100% sure what those protections are, but it's Cam Reddish, Solo Hill, and a second for K Knox and a first. I mean, seeing how, the trade happened a month ago, and shortly after Cam Reddish is getting DNP CDs, and then there's reports that Thibodeau doesn't even want him there. And then, coming up to the deadline over the last few days, his name was floated in quite a few trade rumors. I think they ended up holding on to him, but I mean, this was just kind of a head scratcher for the Knicks, in my opinion. I mean, they're just giving up a first for Cam Reddish, really. What are your thoughts on that deal?
I mean, I thought Cam Reddish was the best player in the deal. Like, I honestly don't know. I don't watch a ton of Knicks games, but I just have a hard time seeing Kevin Knox really staying in the league. Like,
it just doesn't seem like he's
It's
added
too
enough
bad.
to his game.
Yeah. And so, like, obviously he had all the stuff that people were enamored with when he came in, but he just is not, he has not got off the bench for,
Yeah.
the Knicks.
Well,
It's not like the Knicks were great his rookie year.
I mean, he showed flashes early on when he got playing time, but then it was like, I think Tibbs came in his sophomore year. And was
No, Zion took his fucking manhood in summer league. That's what fucking happened. I can't blame him, dude.
All right.
Motherfucker
dude.
probably couldn't hang in the rec leagues at this
All
point.
right.
Thank you, Big
all right.
Z.
All right. Chill out, dude. Why are you hating on Kevin Knox?
Did you
like
not
that?
see
That's-
it?
Yeah, I know what happened, but he's the shouts out to C Muscle on this one. He's the proxy battle freaking the proxy ward. It was Jakar Sampson versus Kevin Knox at that Chicago
right.
Bulls game we went to. So
Yeah,
how you gonna diss on the legend like that?
Zion literally took his soul, Mortal Kombat style. So sorry, Kevin. Maybe in the next life, pal.
Mine.
Maybe in the next life.
Well, I mean, what did you think of like some of those reports about like them not even really wanting Cam Reddish? To me, that just seems like such dysfunction for the Knicks. It's like, did the front office just make a decision and not even consult Thibodeau and then bring the guy in, and Tibbs is just like, I don't fucking care. I'm not playing him.
I don't know.
Like,
dude. It's funny because like how high Knicks fans were last year with like Julius Randle's playing, like them making the playoffs, and now like the discourse is fully back to like this is a train wreck. This team fucking sucks.
Well,
They don't
then
know
like
what the fuck they're doing.
spoiler alert, they were rumored in a million trades and they had a million guys they needed to get off of this trade. I mean, they
Burks,
said as much.
Fournier, Kemba.
Burks, Fournier, Kemba. Like now those three guys got to come back to what's already like a broken locker room. I thought there was a chance Julius Randle could get moved. I was just like, I don't know. I mean, like you said, then pointed out, the Knicks go from like the best year in New York basketball in probably 10 years to fall to this so fast is kind of depressing. But
yeah, I will say, go ahead.
No,
You say it. Fuck you.
No, because I was going to wrap up this and move on to the next one. So
were you going to ask me what my grade was?
Yeah.
That's what I was going to ask you.
All right, then, bitch.
What a coincidence.
So grade it for the Knicks.
So the Knicks got a second round pick and Cam Reddish and Solomon Hill. And they had to give up a
protected first via Charlotte and K Knox.
Say a C because it just doesn't really move the needle, dude. Cam Reddish, like I think he has the most potential out of everybody in the trade, but at the same time, there's a reason he hasn't been able to get minutes, and he doesn't seem to really at this point move the needle as like a legit contributor.
Do you put any stock into those reports that came out that were like Cam Reddish thinks he's a 1 or 2 option on a team?
Well, if
and
that's
like,
the case,
that's why he's never fit in. It's like, that's dicey.
Yeah, that's a bad. I mean, sometimes you gotta know your fucking role.
Well, yeah, it's like have the confidence, but also, have some awareness too.
I think one thing that I should, before we get into like extensively into all these trades, like with all the pick protections and stuff, like I'm going to be focusing on with my grades, the players
and
kind of what it means.
The team.
Yeah, and what it means for like this year and next, and like obviously when there's like long-term implications with some of these trades,
mm-hmm.
But like when I'm talking about this trade, like a protected first, a Charlotte protected first is not gonna factor in that much in my grade. Because I'm thinking about what are we immediately gonna see? We're gonna see Cam Reddish and we're gonna see Kevin Knox and we're gonna see a first round pick. Like to me, that's what this trade is for.
Well, yeah, and I don't know, it just gets hard to evaluate those things at this point in the season when you just don't know how things are going to shake out. It's like, yeah, we could point to maybe a range where that pick is going to be, but like you said, there's no real like. I don't know how much you can truly evaluate that stuff until the dust is settled on it.
So my feeling is like a C for the Knicks and a C- for the Hawks.
Gotcha. I think I would have done something similar, but just the fact that Thibodeau doesn't even want to play Cam Reddish makes me like that makes me drop it down to a D, if not an F for the Knicks, if I'm being totally honest.
Wowie.
If he was a part of their
solo
plans,
hill, dog.
Well, if like Cam Reddish, if they brought him in and they were like, we want you to be like our spark plug 6-man, blah, 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 or like starting 2-guard, cool. But to give up a former lottery pick and a first round pick just for a guy that's not in your rotation and doesn't really seem like he's going to be, I like Cam Reddish. If Thibodeau's not the coach, I would rank it higher.
I feel like you're reaching there, dude, saying a former lottery pick and Kevin Knox. It's like, You could say former lottery pick for a 35-year-old player who's washed up. It's like you can't use that because Kevin Knox is not like what are you going to say?
He 21, 22? He came in super young. Give
Look
the
at
guy
his
a
production,
minute.
and he ain't playing for Atlanta, is he?
Yeah, he was dropping 13 and 5 a night his rookie year. Like,
yeah, where's
not
he
great
at now?
efficient. He was shooting like 35% from 3 on 5 attempts.
Yeah, where's he at now?
Yeah, Tom Thibodeau does not know how to fucking deal with players like Kevin Knox. He doesn't like. I mean, it's like the Taj Gibson memes. It's the Derrick Rose getting 40 minutes a night. It's just like, if you're in the thick of it and, you know, a pretender or a contender, go for it. But the Knicks are not that.
What if the Pacers signed Hasheem Thabeet? I was like, dude, the Pacers signed a former lottery pick. Are you excited?
If they did it when Hasheem Thabeet was 22, I would have been like, yeah, give him a shot. Because I literally said that today about God damn it, why can't Jalen Smith. I'm already talking myself into that move. So not to give you guys a little teaser of what's to come.
Yeah,
but,
until they were trying to trade his ass right away. So much for that.
Sorry. So let's jump in the next trade.
What'd you give the Hawks on that?
Slightly higher. I think why not take a shot on a rangy 22-year-old guy like Kevin Knox? You get a first round pick. Sounds like Cam Reddish wasn't great for their locker room, so there might even be some addition by subtraction there, just freeing up more shots and stuff for, like, you know, they got other guys that do what you want Cam Reddish to do, but they do it better. So give DeAndre Hunter, Bogdanovich, Kevin Huerter, give them more shine. And yeah, I don't know. I'd say like a B- for the Hawks.
Whoa.
I mean, I don't know. And like,
they're the winners at the deadline, huh?
I know we were just saying that, like, oh, there's no real sense in like evaluating a first round pick, but it's like, to me, that looks like the Hawks could use that to kind of retool, throw that on Danilo Gallinari and get it like an impact player around like the draft or something. Yeah. You know, but I don't know. I actually kind of like the trade for the Hawks, but I'm just a Hawks mark. So whatever. Fuck you. So next up, we got the Nuggets traded for Bryn Forbes. They gave up Bull, PJ Dozier, and then I believe a second round pick. Sorry, it's just a little confusing. And then the Spurs got Wancho from the Celtics, and then the Celtics received Bull and PJ Dozier. So kind of a.
Well, then PJ Dozier and Bull got traded to the Magic, right?
Yeah. Basically, everything the Celtics were trying to do, they wanted to add a little bit of, you know, obviously they ended up adding an impact player, but one of their main goals was to get below the luxury tax. And I think this was like a cap flexibility move for them, similar for the Spurs. But I mean, there's only really one thing to talk about, and that's the Nuggets getting Bryn Forbes. You know, obviously they need some help, some guard creation, some shooting.
Yeah.
So I don't even know if this is one that's really worth reviewing.
Yeah,
but
I think so, because especially since a lot of the pieces kept moving. But I will say that it's crazy that I know that like the circumstances are a little bit weird, but PJ Dozier got, you know, thrust into that role. Was it the bubble year? And he did well, and he like was he was playing well. He's like D'ing up, you know, I think he was like D'ing up LeBron at points.
But yeah, he looked like he could be a guy that you could throw on Kawhi or LeBron or KD for.
And it's just crazy that, you know, not to jump the gun, but I believe he got cut by the Magic today.
Well, I think it's an injury. It's all injury related. I think he had a pretty serious, like, I think he's gone for the season. Yeah, I think he's out with a torn ACL, so he's just getting. Yeah, I mean,
still, like, if you're the Magic, why not hold on to him?
Well, yeah, I understand like the Nuggets trying to like, oh, we need a roster spot, this or that, but like, one of these other teams, I don't know why you wouldn't hold on to him. Or, I mean, I don't know how it really works. If he's already on an NBA contract, just send him down to the put him on your G League roster when he comes back. I don't know. He seems like a player worth taking a chance on. I think you and I both believed in the flashes that he showed.
Yeah.
So it's weird that he's such an afterthought, where at one point he looked like he might be like a decent young asset. But yeah, the next trade was the I guess kind of the real kickoff. It was that Blazers Clippers trade, the Eric Bledsoe, Justice Winslow, Keon Johnson, and a second for Norm Powell and Rocco, which seeing what the Blazers have done since then, it's like
A for the
don't know.
Clippers, F for the Blazers. I'm
Yeah,
not
I
going to
mean,
give it an F
it's
for the Blazers. I'll give it a D for the Blazers, dude, just based on the fact that they're already beating the Lakers. So they
true,
must have done
true.
all right.
Well, no, I guess that goes in the opposite direction. They're probably trying to lose games at this point. Some of
Yeah,
the
I mean,
deals
but
they
that's the
made.
thing is like they didn't even really build that well for the future. I mean, I don't know how high you are in Keon Johnson, but it's just like Justice Winslow is what Justice Winslow is at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, but this is the thing. I think that part of grading trades is not you can't just evaluate independently. Like, what could you have gotten for Norman Powell?
Oh my God. Because like Karis LeVert probably had comparable value. Pacers ended up getting a first round pick in 2 seconds for Karis LeVert
and cap relief.
Yeah, it's just like I don't see how Norm Powell gets sold off for spare parts like that. To not even get a first round pick for Norm Powell and Rocco, who I know the chips were down on Rocco a little bit, but for the two of those, you should have got a similar package to what Karis LeVert got, if not better. So yeah, I mean, that's a good point of like, what could you have actually gotten? Because we're going to have to revisit that later with a couple of these trades because there were some shockers out there.
Chakras. And I will say this too, as a Pelicans fan, I can't give anything that involves Eric Bledsoe. The team receiving Eric Bledsoe more than a D.
That's
so
fair. I mean, the guy, I mean, when's the last time
he cared about any fucking thing
with the Bucks? And even then that was like a resurgent Eric Bledsoe. Like, I mean, this guy, the last 5 years of this guy's career is, I don't know. Unfortunate. Yeah.
He's fugazi.
He'd be number one inductee into the Hall of fucking J Brones.
Unless he subscribes to this channel, in which case he will be in the Hall of Flame.
It's like he could be on both sides of it, dude. But no, yeah, that one's pretty straightforward. It seems like one of the worst trades that's happened.
Give me some grades, dude.
I mean, F minus for the Blazers, and
I'm saving an F. I'm saving my F minus for another trade.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. This one's pretty bad though. I mean, it's like they didn't even kick the tires. It's like they were doing the Clippers a favor, honestly.
Well, that's what people were saying because the Blazers owner was it Jody Allen and obviously Ballmer. They have the Microsoft ties, and so this is like some collusion shit.
Yeah, it seems pretty clear that.
Let me help you out there, Steve.
Yeah. This season's a wash for us. Let's see what we can do.
I'll save you some money if you take my players.
Yeah, what the fuck? Next deal was the Karis LeVert, the aforementioned Karis LeVert. Was LeVert and a second round pick to the Cavs for Rubio, 2022 first, 2022 second, which is a Houston
first
pick.
Unprotected?
No, I think it's lottery protected, but it's not really going to matter because it's the Cavs pick this year.
You're looking at probably a late teens pick there.
Yeah, like maybe early 20s, depending on how the rest of their season goes. They made some good deals. But then they also get the 2022 Houston second round pick, which, that's probably going to be 32, 33, somewhere in there. So I don't know. I really like the trade for both teams. It seems like both teams kind of got what they wanted. Cavs had a hole in their guard rotation. For as good as Rondo's,
what do you think this means for old Colin Sexton?
Trying to think because Karis LeVert has another year on his deal, or I'm pretty sure he does. I need to double check that, but I don't know, man. It just seems like it'd make me really like I want to believe that they want to have Colin Sexton there. I mean, he just was scoring like 24, 25 a night for them last season. He was literally their leading scorer coming into the year. And I think he fits a need that they have, but I don't know. It's always been weird with him there. It seems like there's always been rumors about that. What's your feel on that?
I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. Like, I wonder if the Cavs perform well through the stretch, like the stretch run of the season, and they, makes a little bit of noise in the playoffs. If it's like, well, we got LeVert and we've, Sexton's kind of been on the brink of being moved for a little bit now, at least according to rumors. So I don't know. I think how well LeVert plays and how well the Cavs perform will help determine how expendable they feel like Colin Sexton is, but who knows?
And just to be clear, Karis LeVert, it has one more year on his contract for $18.8 million. And then Colin Sexton's rookie deal ends after this year. So I don't know. It'll be interesting just to see what happens with Colin Sexton in a vacuum, let alone the implications it'll have with this team.
Well, yeah, I guess a lot. I mean, I guess the main driving factor I would guess would be what is the market for Colin Sexton, and is like, can the Cavs get him at a reasonable price? And I'm sure they'd like to have him back. If the market's going to be hot for him, it's like, well, maybe we just roll with LeVert, try and extend him.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I mean, LeVert has kind of a chance to control his destiny if he's a good fit there, and they make a run into the second round, and he plays well. It's hard to see them, or maybe they just say, hey, we, because they can match any offer on Sexton, right? So there's nothing really preventing them other than penny pinching if they wanted to,
Dan Gilbert will
have both.
Will strike again, dude.
He's like the richest owner or the second richest owner in basketball, I think.
Yeah.
So who knows? And also Colin Sexton last year shot 48% from the field, 37% from three, and 82% from the line, scoring 24 a night, which is kind of absurd.
It's pretty fucking good.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty solid. What are your trade grades?
Trade grades. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's pretty solid for Bulls considering the Pacers had 2 picks, and it just sucks though because I have such a soft spot for LeVert. That motherfucker goes out in Indiana scoring 40.
Yeah,
what a legend, dude. I want them to build around his ass. So,
it's I don't know, man. I know we'll talk about more Pacers stuff, but if you asked me 2 weeks ago what my nightmare was, it's they retained Brogdon and Turner and LeVert and Sabonis are gone, and that was my nightmare scenario, and that's exactly what played out. But it turned out to not be too much of a nightmare for me. So
I think that I think that the Cavs won the trade because at the end of the day, this is what this boils down to me is Karis LeVert for a first round pick. Mm-hmm. And I think Karis LeVert will be better than whoever the Pacers get in the back end of the first round, which I think the odds are high of that just based on the things we always talk about. So I would say I'll give the Cavs a B and the Pacers a B-.
That's fair. I really feel like both teams kind of got what they wanted, not to mention the Pacers finally secured Ricky Rubio, who's been a cock tease for like 7 years or something. I mean, he's been rumored. Yeah. I mean, I think he's on an expiring deal, but I don't know. It's just kind of funny because Rubio is a guy that I'd wished for.
It's like Gordon Hayward coming to the Pacers.
Yeah. I mean, he's a guy that had been rumored there so often, and it sucks that he got here this way. But I don't know. It'd be cool if they gave him like a deal this summer on like we'll give him a shot. This team needs a vet, but let me dream. I'd give the Pacers probably a B, and I'd probably give the Cavs a B as well.
Wow, what a homer take.
Well, no, because I think.
Do you think there's no winners? You don't think one team won this deal? You think it's a perfectly even split?
I think it's pretty. I'm not evaluating.
You're a gutless coward.
I'm not going to try to evaluate future players that they're going to draft, but I think the Pacers really wanted to get a first round pick for Karis LeVert, and some people didn't think that was going to happen. Lo and behold, they got, a mediocre first round pick and a really, really good second round pick and a future.
Who won the
trade
then, dude? Who won the trade? Okay, there's different versions of a B. You can get a fucking 85 or you can get an 86. Who got the 86? Don't be a gutless coward.
I gotta give it to the Pacers, dude. I watched Karis LeVert. He was the best tank commander you could ever ask for.
All right.
He'd go out, get his, and increase his trade value, and they could not win a fucking game. And he was one of the most frustrating players on the team this year. So I'm a little bit jaded.
There's only one tank commander, dude. You watch your fucking mouth.
That's fair. That's fair.
Why do you think the Raptors won a title, dude? It all started there.
Butler, dude. Obviously. Let's hop into the next one because it's a Pelicans deal, and it's a pretty controversial one. At least the way it's been covered.
At all, dude.
Pelicans got CJ McCollum, Larry Nance Jr., Tony Snell. Disgusting. And then the Blazers got Josh Hart, Tomas
Satoransky.
fucker.
Sound like Pat McAfee.
Thomas Satoransky.
Tomas Satoransky. Spit it out, bitch.
Sorry, you fucked me up with your mispronunciation of it every time.
It's Tommy Satoransky.
Satoransky. Nikhil Alexander-Walker, Didi Lozada, a 2022 first round pick. I think it's protected.
They were selling out different protections in two different teams. So
okay,
yeah,
and then there's
the only way they keep it if it's top 4.
And okay, and then there's like some second round pick swaps. Yeah, it gets hard to track what those picks are going to end up being. But what are your thoughts as a Pelicans fan? Happy, sad?
Literally fucking ecstatic.
Noise.
You and I have chatted a little bit about this. So, but I don't even know where to start here. I couldn't be any happier. I could not be any happier. There were rumors of Darren Fox. There were rumors of Eric Gordon. There were rumors of CJ McCollum. I'm so thankful that CJ McCollum was the player that they traded for.
Well, yeah, let's real quick examine those two other options and why they wouldn't work.
Eric Gordon's a bitch, so fuck him.
He's been there, and it was a disaster when he was in New Orleans.
Didn't want to be there. I don't want to see him anywhere near the fucking Pelicans ever again. Darren Fox, not the strongest guard defensively and not the strongest shooter. And so,
his skill set becomes redundant if you have two ball dominant players like Zion and Brandon Ingram.
Yeah. So
what does Darren Fox add to that team? Like 27% 3-point shooter? Fuck out of here.
Yeah. So, full disclosure, middle of the third quarter, I've stopped watching the Pelicans Heat game first night with CJ McCollum. CJ McCollum isn't, making all his shots, but God damn, it's nice to see him moving around and how he creates openings for other players on the team just with the fear of his shooting ability. And so for all those fucking idiots out there who are questioning like CJ McCollum's fit in the Pelicans, or for that matter, how the fuck could CJ McCollum not fit on any goddamn team in the league?
Yeah, he's one of the most universally applied skill sets that you could ever ask for.
Yeah, and so, I'm going to start talking about sorry about stealing the floor here, but I'm going to start repeating some things that I've spoken to you about just because I want them on record. Is motherfuckers saying this is a short-sighted decision for the Pelicans. And people saying they're going all in to make the play-in game this year. Do people not understand that Zion, people can say what they want about Anthony Davis. I think he's being exposed for what he truly is now. Zion has felt like the truest hope for actual winning since Chris Paul. And so we're talking like 11, 12 years. And even then, like Zion, when he was drafted, it was, I was a Pelicans fan at the time when they drafted Chris Paul. Or, when they were the Hornets, and it didn't feel like that. It did.
Oh God, dude. Yeah.
Zion is the type, like, obviously he hasn't been healthy, but if he's healthy, he is literally the type of person like Giannis or LeBron, somebody who can literally turn the fortunes of a franchise around.
He is a top 5 player in the league. When
he has potential to be a top 5 player in the league.
I mean, he's already shown he's a top 10 to 15 player, and that was if he gets especially like down to his Duke weight, I don't know how close that'll be, but it's like I'm not going to frown on him if he doesn't get down to that, but proving to him that you will make the moves necessary to win games is a huge part of maintaining what you have and getting him to re-sign and want to stay there for at least maybe one more contract would be fucking nice. Mm-hmm. So by bringing in CJ McCollum, you are effectively telling Zion, yes, we want to win. We want to build now. We are interested in winning. We're not interested in sitting around and letting all the other guys we drafted who aren't developing as fast as you want to, cause us to continue to be in the lottery every goddamn year. So bringing in CJ McCollum, not only does he fit well with Zion, and hit him some of the pick and roll stuff that him and Zion can run. Oh God, yeah.
That will be nasty. I don't care if CJ McCollum was in the strongest fucking defender. Not only is there that, you are just encouraging growth. And if you make the play in this year, that's awesome. Get some experience, like play some games. And
you can't tell me like everything we know about Zion, he wants to play basketball and he wants to be playing when it matters. Like that's the only sense I've ever really gotten from him. And he's, a pretty private person, but it seems like winning is something that is pretty crucial to what he wants to do in the league. So them take and short-sighted. I mean, people have poo-pooed the CJ McCollum contract, but he's going to be there for a couple years if they want him.
Yeah, let me speak on this. I'm doing the Conan promo. But CJ McCollum, okay, all this stuff about his contract, 30 mil this, 30 mil that. Like I spoke to Bailey privately, but we have Zion, Griff provided an update today, and by an update at the typical Griff update, we'll give you an update at a later. It was an update to give you another update
about
time.
the update about the update.
Yeah. And so, I'm not mad at that. Protect Zion. Don't say he's close and then have him not be able to play. So anyway, no news on Zion, but I'm assuming Zion's not going to play this year. And so this is kind of a lost year in terms of like having the total group together. We hope that Zion can be back next year healthy, and then we can see what this really looks like. With that said, that'll be the second to last year of CJ McCollum's deal. He'll be making $30+ million. Okay, that's great. Zion will still be under his rookie contract and still very affordable. Like the team will not be in any sort of salary cap dilemma based on their salaries. And so you'll have a year to figure that out and see, okay, this is working. This is looking good. This is something that might be sustainable. And then you move after that. If they're lucky enough to extend Zion, they'll have that year where CJ McCollum is making a lot of money. And, if it's something that is working, they can, try and make some moves around the margins to make that work and maintain those three players and win, which will be great. If that's not working, CJ McCollum will be one of the best expiring contracts in the entire league.
Very tradable.
Best one of the best rentals for a playoff team you could possibly imagine. Just like, we need an elite,
a guy who can step in and shoot 10 threes a night, playoff ball,
or even score
40% on his threes.
Yeah, can score like on multiple levels of the floor, and maybe we just want to try it out and see if we can like make that push over the edge to like get to the finals. So his contract, I view as like could not be better. Obviously it's a big number to look at, but I don't think it could be any better in terms of like the window that the Pelicans are moving into. It's like, okay, we're trying to see what if Zion's going to sign here, and that's going to shake up a lot of things with like the Pelicans team building if he does sign that max extension. But until you know that for sure, have CJ McCollum on your fucking team. Who gives a shit?
Well, and one thing I'm sure you were probably going to get to it at some point, but it's like CJ McCollum has a specific reputation as a professional, as a leader, as a teammate. And the Pelicans, again, from the outside looking in, I don't follow the team nearly as closely as you do. They seem like a team that's needed that for ever. Pretty much
would have been nice 3 years ago when they first Zion,
they've needed that for a long time. So to bring in one of the guys who has one of the best reputations in the league, like I said, as a leader and a teammate, I don't know, it just seems like such a natural fit from that perspective, as well as the his skill set. Off ball guard, can shoot the lights out, can get his own bucket if he needs to. Like, I don't know, obviously the defensive concerns are going to be there, but like, you take the good with the bad. Like, at the end of the day, CJ McCollum is far and away a net positive when he's on the court. So, and any advanced stat over the course of time will show you that. So,
and let me
as well as the eye test.
Talking about CJ McCollum being respected around the league, like it was so nice to see. You and I both root for small market teams, Indiana and New Orleans, and I don't know if you saw CJ's presser, but he was like, "I want to be here." He worked with the Portland.
He was part of the process
to be sent to New Orleans, and it was a mutual thing. And that is so refreshing to hear somebody say, "I want to be in New Orleans," instead of every motherfucker wanting to run from New Orleans. And even if this all falls apart, I'll appreciate CJ McCollum and him being willing to like jump into a situation that hasn't been that pretty in the past few years.
And on top of that too, like we haven't even mentioned Larry Nance Jr. and Tony Snell, but like those guys could be rotation vets on a playoff team.
Dude, Larry Nance will be a part of the rotation when he comes back.
Yeah, I mean, like he's like a jack of all trades. Like he's
a
do
switchable
everything.
Fucking rangy big. Like
amazing. He could fit next to JV as the big. He could play the big and have Zion be the point forward. Like he gives them a ton of flexibility. And then like
pass
Tony
like
Snell,
a motherfucker.
Well, yeah, and like I don't know, man. It's just this team had a lot of young players in their rotation that I think that's why they lost a lot. They lose a lot of games that they shouldn't necessarily lose with their talent sometimes. And I think that's the difference between vets and first and second year players trying to figure it out. I think they'll be able to eke out more of those victories when you have a safer set of hands on the court. And CJ McCollum, Larry Nance Jr., Tony Snell, they all bring that. And it's crazy to me, the coverage of this trade where,
Kevin Pelton, I'm looking at you, bitch.
The way you and I have talked about it, it seems like a slam dunk for the Pelicans, but most of the people who cover this sport,
Bill Simmons, I'm looking at you, bitch.
Yeah, I mean, they all just absolutely trashed the Pelicans for this, and it blows my mind because it seems like every other deal the Blazers made was trashed, but when they did a deal with the Pelicans, magically they're the winners. And it's like, people were writing reviews about this trade. Oh, Blazers got Nikhil. I don't know your feelings on Nikhil, but to me, he projects to be a worse Anthony Simons at best. And it's like, and he was like, him and Josh Hart were like two of the big pieces that they got. And then that protected first, right? That's kind of the main trade haul there. And it's like, right. Nikhil's already gone.
Yeah.
Like they flipped the Nikhil immediately, and he was supposed to be like the decent young player they got. And they traded him for Joe Ingles, Elijah Hughes in a second. It's just, I don't know. It just seemed like the Blazers have a lot of fans in the media and the Pelicans don't. And it seemed very apparent with the way this trade was covered. So as an objective fan, that looked fucking stupid to me. Because this seems like a no-brainer for the Pels, but
yeah,
whatever.
Let me say one more thing about the Pels too. I don't know if you saw the highlight of the Rockets game the other night, but I watched that game on NBA TV, and I get emotional just talking about it. But Nikhil and Josh Hart sat courtside at the game, and Josh Hart was wearing a Brandon Ingram jersey. And I have watched a lot of basketball. You watched a lot of basketball. I have never seen players who've just gotten traded, sit courtside at the game to support their team.
Mm-hmm.
And like after the game, the Pelicans won the game, fortunately. They all came over courtside and hugged the entire team. Willie Green, assistant coaches, came over and gave them hugs and goodbyes. And like Nikhil was like taking pictures with the fans. And it's almost one of those situations. It's like, I love CJ and I'm very excited about him and Larry Nance and Tony Snell coming for basketball reasons, but it's like, fuck, I'd rather the Pelicans just lose and keep the players that I love, dude. It's you ever have that feeling for the Pacers where it's like, this team, they had CJ McCollum, 99% chance, even with Zion healthy, they'll never win a title. So what's the fucking point of this? The point is having players I like and rooting for them and through the ups and downs.
Yeah.
And the journey I've had with like Nikhil and Josh Hart, I know it's been a short journey. Like Nikhil's only been in the league 3 years. Josh Hart's only been there 3 years, but it's like,
I think there's probably a special attachment just to those players specifically with the Pelicans, because like Josh Hart, he was part of the Anthony Davis deal, right? And like, as much as you want to like trash AD and stuff, which like a lot of that's warranted if you're a Pelicans fan. Like you should really have no reason to ever like or root for that guy ever again because of the way
unless
he left.
He's helping LeBron.
Well, conflict of interest. But like, I feel like there's a special attachment for like the players you got back for it. Cause like I felt that way about DeMontis Sabonis and even Oladipo for a while. It's like, we gave up Paul George for these two. And it's like, I don't know, you almost grow a little bit more, you root a little extra harder for those guys because you want to look like, yeah, the player we got rid of, yeah, he wasn't shit. Look at this, and I feel like, and maybe that's just me being too much of a head case, but I believe there's something to that. And same with like Nikhil, it's like Pelicans were leaving such a dark time, and they made that deal, they got Zion, and then like Nikhil was like kind of the next, I don't know, he showed a lot of bright flashes in his short time there. So it's like he always seemed like the Pelicans player that every Pelicans fan I'd ever seen just like rooted for him. Just like, I mean, yeah, there was criticism to be given, but everybody wanted him to succeed there. I mean, that's just the sense I got. So yeah, I mean, I'm glad you bring it full circle, because like here we are jerking off the Pelicans, and then you're like, there's the sentimental part of it too. So I don't know, man.
Well, yeah, it's like I'd really like think hard about like, well, I'd rather them just lose and keep Nikhil and Josh Hart just because I like them so much. And like, a lot has been made about the Pelicans culture and blah, 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 all this shit. I've never seen that.
Yeah.
Like I've never seen that or heard of that. And David Griffin, he in his press conference today after the trade deadline said as much as well. Like
Dang.
he said, in my 28 years in the NBA, I've never seen this.
Yeah.
And,
How's that for culture? The players fucking loved each other. That's got to count for something.
That's culture to me. And so I do want to say, like, you know, I think a lot of Pelicans fans are critical of David Griffin. I am critical of David Griffin at times, but I think I'm fair about David Griffin because I am very positive about David Griffin at times.
Yeah.
The only time I feel like I was really upset, and you could point out something right now if you can remember something that I was mean about him about,
Mm-hmm.
and that was the one thing I was critical about was the Stan Van Gundy firing, and so I was upset just because, you know, a number of different things, but I don't know how far this like culture being built dates back to. I don't know if this was pre-Stan Van Gundy. We're talking about Alvin Gentry days, you know, and maybe it has nothing to do with the coach, and maybe it just has everything to do with the players. These guys have been together their entire, like Josh Hart and Brandon Ingram have been together their entire career. And, you know, but I want to applaud, you know, take this time to applaud David Griffin for, you know, I felt as a dumb fan who doesn't know jack shit, like, don't fire Stan Van Gundy. And although I felt like he had to because the players were going to mutiny, but for bringing Willie Green and understanding that he made a mistake, David Griffin did, and being willing to correct that mistake and not be stubborn and be like, you know what, this is my fucking head coach. I don't give a fuck. Players. And for bringing Willie Green and every single person, every single rumor, every single piece of information around the Pelicans, that team loves Willie Green and the team loves each other. And I'm just
must be nice.
Yeah, fuck. Bjorken, where are you, dog? Anyway, we've talked about this trade way more than we need to, but I give the Pelicans a B+. I give the Trailblazers a C+, I'd say, just for the fact that they got players I love and I'm partial to. And I think I have an overinflated sense of them in my mind, I think.
Yeah.
And then it's just a very emotional trade. And, you know, you had a very emotional trade as well with Sabo, but that's where I'll leave it. And I know I've talked about 20 minutes about the Pelicans, but I just want to this will never see their eyes, but Nickeil Alexander-Walker and Josh Hart, thank you. And even Didi Louzada for that matter. Like, you know, I watched him in the summer league, gave me some really hopeful moments as well. So thank those two dudes. And I'm going to miss having them on the Pelicans, man.
Well, I want to say this as a Pacers fan too, because I saw the Josh Hart and Nickeil like headline prior to the game, or like right when the game was starting, I think is when I got jealous as a fan. I was like, I wish my players were like that. So, and like you said, maybe it has happened and it just wasn't covered, or there wasn't much hoopla around it, or maybe, I don't know. This one felt different. This felt special. And I was just jealous as a fan that your team and your players, you know, have that like love for each other. It's been very absent in Indiana.
I just feel special. It feels like I don't think they'll ever win a title, even if Zion's healthy, just because that's the pessimist.
It's so hard to win, too.
It just feels like that's a special team. And if they can like be healthy and play hard, that's a team that's going to want to win for each other and play hard for each other. So, anyway, what are your grades? I'm so sorry for hijacking.
No. I would honestly, I mean, if it's just McCollum and whatever other salary filler, I'd probably give the Pels like a B+ or a B, but I'm pretty high on Larry Nance Jr. and I think Tony Snell's like a good ninth man considering
the DNP CD tonight.
Well, yeah, it's like
it was funny in the David Griffin presser. He was like talking about CJ McCollum and Larry Nance, and like he briefly touched on Tony Snell.
Well, it's like, I don't know. I think he's the type of guy that should maybe earn minutes over some of the guys getting minutes in their rotation. But I mean, there's a reason why it's never really worked out for Tony Snell. There's something that, you know, he just never carves out that role, even though he's an efficient player and in theory a good defensive player.
Goddamn free throw.
Yeah, in 3 years or whatever. But no, I'd give the Pels probably an A-, and I'd probably give the Blazers like a C-. I'm really, if they hold on to Nickeil because they believe in him, I'd probably grade it a little higher. But I mean, I think the next day they flipped him for Joe Ingles.
That's the thing, is like, I'm trying to evaluate these trades on the trade themselves and not like what happens afterwards.
Yeah. So that one's tough because it was so quick, but
yeah, that's true.
I don't know. Let's go to the next one because we have the LeVert trade. The sequence is LeVert, McCollum, and then Sabo. Those three trades happened in a row.
For this listener, or for our listeners who want to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, for anybody who watches this, the fact that Bailey and I's favorite team both made such major trades like back to back was such kind of a crazy experience to like go through that together. Like both our teams being completely shapeshifted.
Well, and especially because I feel like our teams are usually like the blue balls teams. They're like, oh my God, they've been like, I mean, they've been talking about the Miles Turner, Sabonis, like one of these guys is getting traded for 3 years. And it's like, we had already planned to record it today, the podcast. But those trades started popping off 3 or 4 days ago. And it was like, I mean, we talked about a lot of this stuff in advance, but we just couldn't hold off. I couldn't keep it in when Sabo got traded, dude.
Yeah. Tell me how you feel, dog. Tell me how you feel.
It fucking hurts.
Set my mic down, dude. This is your turn.
I mean, it just hurts really bad. Like, he was brought in as an afterthought. He was treated as an afterthought for so many years by fans, by it seemed like coaches too. Like, he could just never get the respect that he deserved. I feel like he's one of those guys that's had to earn everything he's gotten in the league. Like, and people make jokes like, oh, he's the most undeserving all-star ever. And then he got it again. And they're like, he's the most undeserving 2-time all-star ever. Like, he's just a guy that like, and it sucks because like, as a Pacers fan or a Pelicans fan, you're used to the national media and the national spotlight on other players, which inherently like lessens your team or your guys. But I also got the feeling with Sabonis that he was never truly embraced by the Pacers organization and the fans, because he got brought into a team where Miles Turner already existed and was already a darling. You know, he was like the successor to Roy Hibbert, to like a long lineage of Pacers bigs. And Sabo came in and just outworked everyone on the court. Like, that's literally how he's earned his keep in the league. He's just all effort. And he's, you know, it breaks my heart, dude, because like, he was the piece that I thought they should have built around, and they deal him to Sacktown, which is, you know, I think there was already a quote, the basement of the NBA, their NBA purgatory. Like, it just feels like Sabo did so much for this team. He made them overachieve for years since he got here, because before he was a full-time starter, the starters had like a 0 net rating. And this Pacers team's competitive advantage was always Sabo plus things that fit around Sabo. Those were the lineups that killed. That's when they won games. And it's like, it felt like he even got dissed on the way out. And it's like, I know it wasn't personal to send him to Sacktown, because I haven't even talked about the return in the trade. They traded him there for an obvious reason. That reason is Tyrese Halliburton, who's a certified blue chip prospect. But it really just broke my heart, because, and then that first night, like, and maybe I'm making like mountains out of molehills, but like, it felt like the trade happened and then Sabo was like, I'm here to play the next day. And it's like, it feels like that timeline is different for like some players. It's like, oh, 3 days. Sabo was there, ready to go, playing the Timberwolves night 1, gave Karl-Anthony Towns the business. Like, obviously there's some like weird fit stuff, because he, you know, he probably didn't even practice with the Kings. He showed up ready for game time, come out and got them a win on their home court. Like he got a, like, it seems like they've already embraced him in 1 game more than the Pacers did in 4 or 5 years, dude. And it's just like, because I embraced him. That's the fucking hard part. I did. And he's gone. And it's just like, I'm supposed to be all happy because it's like, ooh, we got Tyrese Halliburton. Ooh, we got Buddy Hield. Like, it's fine, but like, it ain't Sabo, dude. Like, he was the man for me. And even just knowing like the archetype of player that I like, you know, we talked about the like, oh, I was like kind of like DeMarcus Cousins. The part of my game I always loved working on was like the passing. It's just like Sabo's the exact type of player that I love. And he was on my favorite team and he's gone. So it's hard, dude. It's really hard. That said, like, I'm happy for him. I'm happy for the Kings. I don't know if you saw that picture but it was Darren Fox hugging Sabo after the game. And it literally looked like Darren Fox was like holding on as like, I love this motherfucker. Like it looked like a strong embrace. And it was just like, I don't know. It filled me up, it filled my heart up to see like Sabo be embraced. And like, as they're going to the tunnel, he's like, the fans are at the tunnel and he's like hyping them up after the game. And it's like, it's the Kings, dude. It's a franchise everybody shits on, nobody likes. And he's like,
Gilski, shout out to Gilski.
Dude, yeah. Shouts out to T Gilski, dude. But I don't know, man. It was it's the definition of bittersweet, because it seems like, and I know like a 1-game sample size is obviously stupid, but like seeing the way him and De'Aaron Fox interacted with each other, seeing the way he interacted with fans, seeing him like them like chanting his name, I was just like, guy literally killed himself for that in Indiana and never got any of it. And it's just like, good for him, man. We never deserved him. And hopefully Sacktown, I hope, now that Sabo's there, I mean, they're probably going to be like one of my top 3 or 4 teams that I root for, just because I love Sabo so much. But I don't know. Sorry to just get all sappy, but fuck, dude.
That's good shit, man.
That was my guy, dude.
That
was my guy.
Shit. Dude. Yeah. Keep going.
Well, no, it's just, I don't know. It's like, again, for me to talk about the Kings side of it, and I'm a Pacers fan, and like a lot of people would point to this being one of the biggest heists of the deadline. And it's just like, doesn't feel good, man. Cause
those are the same motherfuckers who didn't think Sabo was a legitimate all-star. So fuck them.
Well, yeah. And it's like, the NBA fans are shitting on the Kings because they think Sabo's trash. And then the Pacers fans are shitting on Sabo because they're like, they can't be happy for him. They have to be like, oh, well, we got Halliburton and he's way better. He's going to do so much more for this team than Sabo ever could. And it's just like, motherfuck, man. I just feel like he's getting it from all angles. And it's like, that's where the bittersweet part though comes in. Because it's like, I saw the way he interacted with De'Aaron Fox, and I saw the way he interacted with those fans. And it was just like, it felt special, dude. Again, it felt special in the way that like Josh Hart and Nickeil Alexander-Walker, it didn't feel ordinary. It felt like the Kings have been shit talked their whole careers. Felt like Sabo's been shit talked his whole career. And they come together and they're like, you know what? Like if nobody else is going to love us, we can love each other. And like, I don't know. I hope he finds, his home. And I mean, he's even said that he's just looking for his home. And like that, hearing that about your favorite player who's getting a bad exit from your favorite team fucking hurts. Man. Ugh. So yeah, the Kings get an A+, Pacers get an F-, and fuck everything. I quit. What are your thoughts on the deal?
I mean, I know how to follow that. That's good stuff, dude. It's just, yeah, it's just crazy, dude. Because it's like, correct me if I'm wrong, because again, it's the flip side of what you said earlier. I don't follow the Pacers as closely as you, but it's like, it seems to me, and we've kind of touched on this before, private on this podcast, maybe not on this podcast, but I don't know why it feels this way with the Pacers, but it just seems like, and this might not be true, but it feels like everybody's more concerned with themselves and how they're received and how they get what they want, and they get to contribute in the way that they want to on the team, as opposed to winning games.
Nobody wants to sacrifice. Nobody for a second.
I feel like Sabo's the one who's always been most willing out of like literally the top 5 or 6 guys. And so that's part of the reason I feel like, and you may or may not agree, why the Pacers aren't working out is they just have too many guys who view themselves at the same level as each other. And there's no like clear pecking order on that team.
Yeah.
But the one thing that frustrates me in that is I just don't understand why Sabo would be the one you trade. Out of every single motherfucker on that roster, you look for people like Sabo who can be multiple time all-stars, who can be on good contracts, who can be
25.
Young.
He's 25 years old and he's gotten better every single year.
And he's on a good contract. And he provides, obviously he's not the best defender in the world, but it's like he does so many positive things within the game. It's like, I just don't understand on God's earth why you think, why it makes sense for him. Every single person on that roster should be fucking traded before Sabo, in my opinion. because it's like this. How? Okay, let me backtrack. Kevin Pritchard. How is Sabo not the one to build around on this team?
I think, and again, like the Pacers organization and the fandom feels like they've all been like pining for the Pacers to play this more modern brand of basketball. They've had Sabo and Miles Turner for quite some time now, and like people just want them to play modern basketball. And when you start to like, okay, well, how do we get to a point where we play modern basketball? You have Miles Turner, 3-and-D big, protects the rim, and then you have Sabo, who's like a weird low post banger, mid post creator. Like his defense is lacking, but that's because he's always playing with two bigs on the court. So like,
yeah, what? So the Pelicans, should they trade Zion for a point guard who can stretch the floor just because it's modern? It's so stupid.
And the frustrating part is like people just are so quick to like crap on his defense, but it's like last year he covered more ground than anybody in the NBA. His second spectrum tracking defensively, he covered more ground than any player in the league. And it's like, yeah, that highlights like a very big issue with your scheme, because Domantas Sabonis as a defender, that's not going to be a strong suit. But it's like, again, we go back to the thing of like always being asked to do the hard thing. It's like, why is he the guy always chasing, always? And it's like, teams will scheme for that, but it's just, I don't know, like them playing with two bigs was a disservice to Miles Turner on the offensive side of the ball. And everybody's so quick to point that out and be like, well, just if Miles Turner just gets more touches, they're just going to instantly be better. But then they don't do the same thing on the flip side with Sabo. They just look at his defense when he's playing next to a center and say, oh, that could never work. It's like, well, no, let him play the 5 defensively. Let him bang. Let him hang around the paint more. Let him vacuum up defensive boards. Like he's a rebounding savant. Like, but instead, like he's had to chase, 3s and 4s for the last 2-3 years. And it's like, I don't know, man. I'm sorry to just like get way back in the weeds on it, but it's just been like,
this is what we needed.
It's just, I don't know, man. I think he's going to prove a lot of people wrong in Sacramento because, obviously the guy has the mentality of like, and here's the going back to like Pacers had 5 players that were like top 50 players, arguably at some point in the league. And it was like, who's the alpha? Who's the alpha? And it's like, all these other guys were past Sigma, dude. But all these, like everybody had a chance, but like Miles Turner was like, oh, I don't want to show it on the court. Like, I don't want to earn it. I just want to be passive aggressive in the media. And it's like,
that's so Miles.
It's Turner. Like everybody wants to be an alpha. Everybody wants the touches. It's like, how about when you get out there, play like it? Like, don't be a passive bitch that like disappears for 4 games and then has one hot quarter. Like you don't just like, how about you don't posture for more touches in the media? How about you play like it? That's my thing. And it's just like, for them to choose, Miles over Sabo is just like, you're picking the guy on paper and not the guy who you have. I've watched over 100 Pacers games since Sabo's been there. And it's like, you can't tell me my eye test is that far off. Like one guy's out there making the difference and the other guy is like a great idea on paper. Like, I want the real deal. I don't want the, I don't want the like theory of a player. I want an actual player. So I don't know. Did you get to your grades on that?
Give me your really for real grade. No, give me your for real grade.
I'd say for the Kings, it's probably like again, if we're going to go back to the like, well, what could they have gotten? I think I have to rate the Kings at probably like a B- because of that. I think if you just look at this trade for what it is and what they got, I'd rate them higher. But I can't help but think if they were like, hey, we're going to trade Tyrese Halliburton.
Yeah, what the market would have been.
That they could probably have gotten themselves a little more than Sabo, Justin Holiday, and Jeremy Lamb, which, again, like Justin Holiday, I've said it for years. I think he's one of the most underrated two-way wings in the league. And I think Jeremy Lamb in the right setting can be a really effective bench player.
This tattoo on it, with his tattoos erased.
Glad to get him off the
GTFO,
squad.
Jeremy Lamb. What's going on, dude?
And then for the Pacers, I'd probably give it like a B+ or an A-.
I mean,
think
get into Halliburton for a little bit. I mean, that's a big deal.
I mean, like, and again, going to the whole like modern style. I mean, they got rid of Sabonis, Jeremy Lamb, Justin Holiday, and they added Buddy Hield, who's one of the best 3-point shooters the league's ever seen. And I get a lot of that's due to the way the modern style is played, but like he shoots near 40% on like 9 or 10 attempts a game. I mean, that's like elite shooter.
Don't you mean Nemanja Bjelica?
Bjelica. And then Halliburton, I mean, what is he, 21? He's like, I mean, he looks like he could either be like a 20 and 10 point guard, or some nights he looks like a two-way stopper who's like a two guard who can play off ball. I mean, he's like I don't know, he's a fascinating player, and he seems like a guy who does anything it takes to win, like anything you ask of him. So
he's pretty malleable from his time with the Kings.
Yeah. I mean, he's it's hard not to be extremely excited about him because, not only do you get, a blue chipper, but you get 2 more years of team control, and then presumably a 4-year extension. So you trade two more years of Sabonis, you get 6 years of Halliburton. It's like hard to really pass that up, because I don't think there was any chance Sabo would re-sign there unless things had drastically changed. So
like,
I mean,
bounce Miles Turner. Fuck.
Yeah, for real. But I don't know. And then there was like the rumors about Buddy Hield being flipped, and that'll probably still happen at some point. Probably not part of their long-term plan, but like it looks like it'd be a fun team to watch between Halliburton, Duarte, Hield. I don't know who they're going to play at the 4. O'Shea Brissett, Terry Taylor, and then probably Miles Turner at the 5 when he's healthy. I mean, they could legit play 5 out, which is, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. I'm fascinated to watch this team once Brogdon. I mean, I don't even know if Brogdon's going to play again this year, but I don't know. I hope they continue to suck, because I mean the long-term goal for them needs to be Jabari Smith. So
yeah,
but that's just my 2 cents on the matter. What would you rank them?
Give the Pacers an A-, and I'll give the Kings a B.
That's fair. Yeah.
It's just based on, again, the fact that could they have gotten this with Darren Fox? What could they have gotten with Tyrese Halliburton? Because I think Sabonis is criminally disrespected.
Yeah. I mean, obviously couldn't agree more. Dang. I think we've been pretty close on most of our grades thus far.
Yeah, we're a couple of bitches.
The exception was the Hawks one, but
I know there's a couple coming up that.
Oh, we've just scratched the surface on some of this. Do you want to go over the Nikhil Alexander Walker, Juancho Hernan Gomez for Joe Ingles, Elijah Hughes? I think Satoransky ended up on the Spurs.
Satoransky.
That was one.
Well. Yeah. The Spurs gave up Juancho and they got just Satoransky back.
Satoransky in a 2027 second via Utah, which that
doesn't really move the needle for me. Yeah, giving up one of the Hernan Gomez's and
but was he even playing? I know there was. I think that was his other stop. I need to know what's been going on with him all season, because, wasn't there drama around him?
I don't remember. I don't know. But I think that obviously Utah gets a player who potentially can be produce for the future, and they get rid of Jingles' contract, which that's nice. And then who the fuck knows what Portland's doing? I feel like it's hard to really truly evaluate their moves until we see what they do with all the cap space.
Yeah, but I mean, we've talked about it. People are giving them all this credit for this cap space. And it's you have to renounce what your second, third, and fourth best player in Simons, Josh Hart, and Nurk. You have to get rid of those cap holds to get that 60 mil. So
yeah, we'll see.
Might as well be $0 fucking dollars at that point.
Yeah, it's hard to kind of grade this one. I kind of give the Spurs just a C, because I feel like it was a lateral move.
Yeah.
I think the Jazz are the winner of this trade. I'd give them like a B minus, and then I'd give the Blazers like a C minus. What about you?
Jazz, I'd probably say like
No,
a D.
let me give the Blazers a D.
Yeah, that I was gonna go more in that range. I'd say Jazz get like a B. I'm not super high on Nikhil Alexander Walker, but
Fuck you, asshole.
just haven't seen
kidding.
enough. Blazers, I'd give a D. Like trading for an injured Joe Ingles, Elijah Hughes, and a 2020 second round pick from Memphis, which will be what, like in the late 40s, maybe 50s.
Yeah, 50s at this rate.
Yeah, I mean, it's just. And is Ingles on an expiring?
Can't remember. I think so.
So, yeah, I mean, it's a cap move, and I mean, ultimately, they just gave up one of the best parts of their return on the CJ McCollum deal for cap flexibility. So they must have something in the works. Like you said, it's hard to evaluate it, but if we were to just look at what happened today, it's hard to give it anything more than like a D. And then
Blazers, man.
Similar with the Spurs. I mean, I don't know. Sato's looked good at other stops. Maybe
not New Orleans, man.
Yeah, maybe he can be a rotation player in San Antonio.
He's an expiring though.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably even going to be a buyout candidate. Who
I could honestly see this being his last year in the league.
He was that bad?
I mean, it wasn't that bad, but it's just like, I don't know, dude. I can just feel it in my bones. My bones are jiggling.
Yeah. It's a lateral move at best, I feel like, honestly. Go over this one didn't really pop up on my radar too much. It was the KZ Okpala to the Thunder. I think it was just a cap or freeing up a roster spot potentially for the Heat, because I think they swapped some first round picks.
Yeah,
and then the Thunder got Okpala, which it's like, sure. Or the Miami got their pick back, 2023 pick back.
Yeah,
and gave up their 2025.
Yeah, I think I like what I mean, KZ Okpala is like somebody that people like, and so I give the Thunder like a B plus.
Yeah,
the Heat a D, because fuck a pick, dude. I want real players.
Yeah, trading for your own 2023 first back by giving up your 2025 first and was Okpala a first round pick?
I can't remember where he was taken.
Either way, like you said, he's not a nobody. He was an early second round pick. Yeah, that seems like a slam dunk trade for the Thunder.
Yeah, they're just creating a roster spot for a buyout candidate, probably.
Yeah, or trying to get under the like luxury. I don't know where they sit in regards to luxury tax, but when teams are in that, it's a little bit like a $2-3 million savings can save
right.
8 to 10 million from the owner. So
Mickey Harrison, baby.
Yeah, who the fuck knows? Next up, we got the Goran Dragic for Thaddeus Young. I guess it's Thaddeus Young for Goran Dragic and a lottery protected first from this year.
I give the Spurs an F minus.
They got a lottery protected first from Toronto this year, though. Give up Thaddeus Young.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then Dragic is just the filler salary. He's going to get bought out.
I know, but that's what I'm saying, though, is like, I'm sick of Dragic, dude. The motherfucker's just pouting his way to Miami. It's like some James Harden minus the 50-pound weight gain.
Who knows, dude? When's the last time you saw Dragic?
Never mind. That pick's good. I give the Spurs like a. I mean, the Spurs aren't trying to do anything. I give the Spurs like an A, dude. Like, get rid of Thaddeus Young. Like, send him somewhere where he'll get to play and make a difference on a winner. Yeah. And then, add to your stash.
They're giving up the 2022 second round pick from Detroit. So
they're going to
move up like 13 spots and the Spurs move up 13 spots. Basically.
Yeah, and all you have to do is get rid of Thaddeus Young for that.
Yeah,
they're literally not trying to win.
Yeah, no, that's sorry. I was just trying to, again, all these picks, dude. It's like hard to.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you mentioned it. I give the Spurs a B plus, and I give the Raptors a B.
Yeah, them getting that Detroit second round pick back makes it a total. I don't know. That kind of flips the trade for me a little bit.
And I mean, they get a player who can play minutes, and they're trying to win.
I don't know. And again, maybe I just don't understand the rotation, but it's like
I feel like Thaddeus Young can play 15 minutes on the Raptors, 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah. I don't know. Does he move the needle enough for them though to give up a first?
Oh, that's true. They're giving him a first. I don't know.
I don't know. That's a tough one.
I don't know.
I'd have to give
maybe I'll give him a C plus.
I'll give the Spurs, like a B, and I'll give the Raptors maybe a B minus or a C plus. That one's, I don't know, a very minor move, but
interesting though.
Yeah, this next one might be the most complex one we go over. It's the Bagley trade. So we got the Kings giving up Bagley and probably a pick, and they got Dante DiVincenzo, Josh Jackson, and Trey Lyles.
Okay, let's just examine the teams one by one.
Okay,
I think that'll make it easier. So the Kings received Bagley and a pick, and got rid of. Kings received. The Kings got DiVincenzo, Josh Jackson, Trey Lyles. They gave up Bagley and a pick,
and a second in 2024 second.
I mean, I like that from the Kings' perspective. I'd give that like a B just based on the fact that Bagley is not a player on that team.
Well, yeah,
and they got Dante DiVincenzo as a proven contributor.
Even if Bagley can figure it out and be positive value on the Pistons, it was never going to happen on the Kings. So,
yeah, and so I'm glad you clarified that because I think Bagley can still contribute at this point.
I'm
not completely out on him, but I think that the Kings are giving up two things that basically are not there to them. Yeah, and they're getting DiVincenzo, and I'm pretty much out on
Josh Jackson.
I'm out on Josh Jackson.
Yeah,
Trey Lyles has been playing, but it's like to me the real win there is they got a valuable role player in this league so far. Like Dante DiVincenzo's a valuable role player.
Yeah, I'd give that like a B as well. The Pistons gave up would have been what, Josh Jackson. Did they have Trey Lyles?
Yeah. Yep.
And then I think that's it. They got Bagley.
I give that an A minus.
I'm gonna be missing something here. Yeah. What was? Sorry, say that again.
A minus. Take a flyer on Bagley. I mean, they're not trying to win games, and they give up Josh Jackson, who's bounced around the league, and then Trey Lyles, who is, he's going to be a journeyman when it's all said and done. No offense to him, my favorite player of all time is journeyman. So,
well, and like with Bagley, it's like, I don't know, just like roll the ball out there, let him make mistakes, let him try to catch up to the NBA speed on defense. Like, I mean, obviously the Kings have been pretty lackluster developing players. They got a pretty bad track record of that. So it'll be cool to see Bagley. And I think Detroit's building an interesting culture there. It seems like they're taking some steps in the right direction. So Bagley getting on with some of the young guys there, I'm intrigued by that. I say, yeah, I mean, anytime you can get a distressed asset, like I'm a huge believer. Like there's a reason I still believe in Josh Jackson. It's like high lottery picks.
Give it up, dude.
I'd take a shot on them till they're like 26, 27 years old. Like if especially if my team's going nowhere.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah.
What'd you give it?
Probably an A minus. I mean, give up nothing of consequence to you and take a shot on Bagley.
Yeah.
The Bucks gave up, I believe, Semi Ojeleye, Rodney Hood,
and Dante DiVincenzo.
And they got Serge Ibaka, the 2022 second round pick via Cleveland or Golden State, whichever is lower. So probably like high 40s, low 50s in the second. And then another second round pick. So Ojeleye, Hood, and DiVincenzo for Ibaka and a couple second round picks.
I've been grading all these first.
I guess like they probably know more about the Brook Lopez injury situation than I do. So I'm assuming they made this trade with some of that in mind. And Ibaka's, he's not the player he once was, but he's looked some semi-decent in his recent stretch with the Clippers. I don't know. His injury risk is always going to be there, but like if you're going to ask the Bucks, like, hey, what's the best you could do for Dante DiVincenzo and some role players? It's like if they find a starting center there, by all means, do that trade. So I'd say a solid B for them. But again, that could flip real bad if Ibaka goes down with an injury.
I'm going to go C just because even if Ibaka stays healthy, just because I feel like Ibaka is very diminished at this point.
Yeah.
His like value in productivity has diminished to a point where, I think I think it's a bad sign if he's getting major minutes for the Bucks if they're trying to actually win a title.
That's fair.
I'll give it a C because I think Dante DiVincenzo is a really valuable role player.
He's looked like dog shit this year, though. I mean, there's a reason they were moving off a young role player piece. Like, he wasn't, I don't know. It wasn't going super well this year.
Yeah, that's fair. I think I'm higher on DiVincenzo, though.
Yeah, as you should. I mean, he's a young player who's shown that he can be better than what he's currently doing. So, okay. So a little discrepancy there. Yeah, see? And then the Clippers, I think they just gave up Ibaka, and then they got Semi Ojeleye and Rodney Hood. So
they're just trying to get rid of Ibaka.
Yeah, it seems like.
Do you think Rodney Hood will be bought out?
I don't know. It seems weird for them to add him to the rotation. I mean, they're inundated with wings, I feel like, and they already added Norm Powell, Rocco. So I don't know. I mean, they should either find a role for him or buy him out, one of the two, because I think Rodney Hood's good enough to be playing minutes somewhere. But I don't know. That feels like a C for me, a pretty lateral move.
Yeah,
like you said,
C as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's like if they really wanted to get off Ibaka that bad, then kudos to them. I mean, they got mission accomplished. So, next transaction,
winner of the trade, though, I think we both agree. Pistons.
Yeah,
Pistons. Bagley,
considering,
and they only had to get rid of Trey Lyles, Josh Jackson. That one of the picks, or is that right?
Yeah, it was Josh Jackson, Trey Lyles, and then not even one of their picks.
That's kind of a liberating feeling, though. It's like, we have role players and we have like 12th. We have like 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th men. It's like, and people want those, and we can get somebody who's like 5 years removed from being second overall pick. Like, fuck yeah, let's try
that's
it.
That's the Torrey Craig Jalen Smith trade right there, which we'll get to. But it's just like these teams going nowhere. Sell off all your role players. Give more minutes to your young guys, and just say fuck it. I mean,
100% agree.
Especially if you can bring one back in like Bagley. I mean, even in Bagley's time, like he's had stretches where he looks like a competent player on one end of the ball.
Yeah.
So who knows? The next trade is probably the most insignificant one. Celtics got a future second, gave up PJ Dozier, Bol and a future second, and cash to the Magic. Again, it's just Celtics trying to get under the luxury tax. Nothing to see
just
there.
Trying to add Bol, it seems like. So
yeah, I guess so.
I'm pretty much out on Bol at this point. But at the same time, I'd rather take a player than a second round pick like that. So
yeah. I mean, those second round picks that are, a future second round pick, it doesn't even give a year. It's just like,
those things aren't even real to me.
Yeah.
I see that and I'm like, we're just trying to give something away. We have to take something back.
Yeah, that's literally what it is. So anyways, I don't even think that's worth grading.
Nope. Grade it, dude.
Magic won the trade. Celtics are cheapskates. It's like they're finally on and I mean, they made moves to improve their team. They've looked really good recently, but it's just to see these teams that are like historic franchises, they should be competing, and they're like, oh, we got to get under the luxury tax. I'm just like, come on, Grossbeck, like pony the fuck up. Like, like these NBA teams, like if we were to value the Sacramento Kings right now, it'd be billions of dollars,
Queens.
like billion plus. It's like, pretty sure you guys can, I don't know. Anyway,
grade it. Grade it on walking off the set.
Celtics F-, because I think fuck that. I just don't agree with that philosophy, even though I'm a Pacers fan and I hate the Celtics. Magic, I'd say like C+, whatever. I mean, did they waive those guys immediately?
They waived PJ Dozier. I don't know if they waived Bol.
So PJ Dozier would have been the.
I said I would have wanted to keep.
Yeah, for that I'll give him like a C- because. Fuck it.
I'll go C-. C- for the Magic, D for the Celtics.
F, yeah. The next one's the big one, dude. Do you want to save it for the end, or do you want to just go keep it? Okay.
Chronological, dude.
We got the what was it? Probably an hour before the deadline. We had it finally happened. James Harden is on the Philadelphia 76ers. Ben Simmons is on the Brooklyn Nets. And the drama is just beginning. Because both these teams got a lot to figure out over the course of the year. So the full details of the trade, it was Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, Andre Drummond, an unprotected first from Philly, and a 2027 protected first from Philly. for James Harden and Paul Millsap. What are your thoughts?
Viewers, be ready. I feel like the gloves are about to fucking come off on this one.
I mean,
dude, you tell me. Bitch.
I think the Nets are pretty clear winners in this trade.
Thank you. Thank God. I thought you were about to go the other way. I was about to shove this mic up my fucking ass.
There is one caveat to all of this. You know, there's the obvious risk with Harden. There's the contract he's about to get, where he's gonna be making $62 million when he's 37 years old. That's $62 million when he's 37, and he's looked like dog shit recently. So
he's gonna have the body type of Cedric the Entertainer.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta wonder what 5 more years of whatever his diet looks like, because the guy's gonna be in a, I don't know, he looks like a Wally person. But here's the thing: the one caveat is, like, if they get a title, none of it matters.
Right?
You pay him $260 million. You do this, you do that. You trade Ben Simmons. You know. It's all worth it if you can get that. And I think they've given themselves maybe like a 2% better shot at that through this trade. So I think for that reason, I'd give the Sixers like a B-, because not only that, but you don't have to go back long in time to be like, they're obviously never going to get a player like Harden. They're never, like, I mean, there was a point in the season where it was looking like, okay, so like Brogdon, Holiday, a couple first, and it's just like, I mean, we'll see. Only time will tell. But I don't know. I'd be interested to hear just your Sixers grade and your reasoning for it.
My Sixers grade?
Yeah. Because what did I say? B-?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Tell me what they gave up again. Just say it again for the listener, dude.
Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, Andre Drummond, an unprotected first-round pick from this year for Philly, which will probably be, early 20s.
Mm-hmm.
And then a 2027 protected first-round pick. I want to say I saw somewhere that's lottery protected, but I'm really not sure. 2 firsts, Drummond, Seth Curry, Ben Simmons. They didn't give up Thibault. They didn't give up Tyrese Maxey. I don't know. Those things need to be taken in consideration too.
I will give the Sixers. I wanted to give an F-, but I'll give it a C-. James Harden is a disgusting motherfucker to watch play basketball right now, and he is going to be the anchor that holds Joel Embiid back from a title, especially if he signs that fucking deal. That motherfucker can't get motivated on the best team we've ever seen assembled in terms of top-end talent. He can't get motivated for that.
Yeah,
what is it going to take with this motherfucker?
Just retire. No,
it's like sign the deal and then like, I cannot stand James Harden. I despise James Harden. James Harden, I determined today, has overtaken. This is hard for me to come to grips with this.
Yeah, I was gonna.
I'm saving this for the cast. James Harden has overtaken Steph Curry as my second least favorite player in the league. This motherfucker, dude. I saw a Reddit post about this.
Yeah, it's unprecedented.
An original thought. The fucking NBA is gonna lock out because of this motherfucker and what he's doing. He goes somewhere. He pouts. He doesn't care. He gets fat. He milks injuries, and then he gets to go where he wants. And then he turns around and does that a year later.
Yeah,
he can't make it work with fucking 2 of the best players in the league. And like Kyrie obviously has a lot of issues going on with him. Like, I don't want to say issues, but what he's doing to the Nets is
when it comes to an NBA basketball player, he creates issues.
I cannot stand James Harden, dude. And I will tell you this, dude. If he goes to Philly and is not motivated and doesn't play hard, and, you know, it's a challenging fit with him and JoJo, what the fuck do the Sixers do?
Yeah.
If it doesn't work out perfectly, what do the Sixers do? Because they just gave up Seth Curry, amazing asset. Ben Simmons, winning lottery ticket, who they've been trying to trade. Who, if Brogdon and Holiday was your return, that sucks, but so what? That's a great return. Mm-hmm. Those are 2 great players to have on a team. If they don't re-sign him, Or no,
Yeah.
I heard he's going to.
Well,
He's opting.
He's opting in,
and so
he's not going to sign a giant extension this year, but probably do it the year after.
and
if
so
there's a new TV deal, and it can be even larger.
And so, I wouldn't want to sign James Harden. I wouldn't want to sign him after the deal's up. I wouldn't want him this year based on how he's looked.
Do you think
I would rather have like if we're talking about Brooklyn, I'd rather have fucking
no.
Nick
This
Claxton.
is my question. Do you think James Harden and Paul Millsap this year give them a better chance of winning a title than Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, Andre Drummond, and those 2 picks would this year?
Yes, but it goes back to what are the other opportunities they could have traded? If like they could have got you, I have a hard time believing that they couldn't have got some good role players or some other players to
no, but and again, this is going to be like, after seeing the results, making a broad proclamation, but it's like very much seems like there was only one package they were going to get from the Sixers perspective. And it was going to be Harden. The Morey Harden stuff just seems too,
if James Harden does not work out with Joel Embiid, this will be the most catastrophically bad move I think I've ever seen.
Yeah. I mean, and people have said as much. What was it, like Bobby Marks or somebody said?
Oh, I didn't see that.
Or no, Stephen A. Smith said this is going to be.
I don't want to be on the same page as that motherfucker.
I mean, he's right about a lot of stuff, though. That's the sad part. But he said this could end up being like the worst day in Daryl Morey's professional career. This decision, and it is a giant risk, and you have to know that Daryl Morey understands that. This is the highest
risk decision, dude. He could literally kill the 76ers and all the progress they've made with this move, dude.
Imagine though if he's playing a little bit different version of himself. Say like when he first got to the Nets and was motivated, where he was an MVP candidate. People forget that, but it's true. And he's a former MVP winner. I understand, like, if there's one guy who deserves no goodwill and no benefit of the doubt, it's him. Nobody else in the league deserves less of that than him. But I don't know. The Sixers, I think they see this as a year where it's kind of wide open, and you can't tell, like, Embiid and Harden versus like the Bucks.
That to me, that's the only excuse, dude. If you think because that's the thing. They have to be going all in for this year because they could have signed Harden in the offseason. They could have kept Seth Curry. They could have kept Andre Drummond as a good backup. They could have kept these picks.
I'm sure they would have had to make some moves around the margins because you have to clear a lot of room to add him. But again, like you said, if they wait till the offseason, they have a better chance at keeping more of their real assets. I mean, you don't have to give anything up, and they'd still have all their picks.
Yeah. So
which could be used down the line for other transactions. But
it literally makes my stomach churn thinking like, and like, let's talk like talking about James Harden. Like we always talk about how he pounds the ball more than any player I've ever seen. And like, how does that work?
I'd rather
with
have
JoJo?
the ball in JoJo's hands.
Yeah.
Than
Same. So it's like, it'll be interesting to see if it works. And, I think that Seth Curry needs to like, it can't be understated or it can't be overstated how awesome he was for this team this year. And for him to
he was
get
like their second best player, arguably.
I don't know, dude. It's just, if Harden isn't motivated or if Harden gets the,
well, dude, this is like, we've talked about with Harden before, like, how many more times does a guy have to have a moment where his whole legacy and career is on the line? But every time the stakes get higher, dude, it's just like,
and every time he fails worse.
Yeah, he fails worse going way back. Like, you could even go back to like the 2012 finals. It's like, granted, he was young, but it's just like every single time, like he's had these moments where it's like, if this goes the other direction, you're golden. And it seems like it always goes the wrong direction for him. And a lot of that's his doing, but it's just like, what a fascinating career.
Fuck him, dude.
Fuck.
Look at his shooting percentages this year.
Oh yeah. It's not pretty. Do you want to talk about the Nets side of it?
Yeah. A plus. How not? They have the perfect player to play next to Kyrie and Kevin Durant. They added Seth Curry, one of the best shooters in the league. and they got picks for a guy who didn't want to be there and could have walked in the summer, who they literally should have gotten nothing for. They turned that into, like, again, it was just 2 episodes ago when you were sucking Ben Simmons' dick from the back.
And I think
now
you
all
were
of a sudden
shitting on him, so I don't know why you're.
And now you want to act like it ain't a good deal for
No,
him.
no. I said from the onset, this is obviously a win for the Nets.
Well, let's hear your grade.
This might be like
a B+.
No, I was going to say, I think the highest grade I've given out is an A minus.
A or A minus. This is the best.
This is definitely
There's
up
not a
there.
bigger win. Answer, just give it the fucking grade, dude. It's an A+.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be
for a guy who's literally tanking your entire team. You turn him into an all NBA player, one of the best shooters in the league, multiple picks, and a perfect big, not a perfect big, a great big that you severely are missing.
But I don't know. I mean, it's just like
fucking real.
There's questions around Harden, and there needs to be questions around Ben Simmons as well. Like, I mean,
because guess what? If Ben Simmons, I think the odds are high he'll still be the same player he was. And that's something that is greatly useful to the Nets because they need help with their perimeter defense. They need somebody who can play off the ball and not like demand shots and dictate like.
But ultimately, he's a guy who's not played NBA basketball in a very long time.
Yeah, he'll be fine. He'll be fine. He's an all-pro.
I mean, there's you're trying to haggle me from an A to an A+. I'm just not going to do that.
Such a bitch.
I mean, like,
how is it not? Harden didn't want to be there. Harden would have walked, and they got all that for him.
Sure, it's a great like.
How could the Sixers have done better?
Because I still think the Nets have a ton of issues.
I mean the Nets. Well, yeah, but independently speaking, how could they have done better for James Harden?
Probably not a whole lot.
Got Thibault and Maxey? Like, that's just unrealistic.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing would be like you take out the Drummond salary filler spot and you add like a young player and I mean, like you said, though,
they need Drummond.
Fill a hole that the Nets have. Like, they don't have that legit, real big, like, you know, that they can play as a 5. I don't know. I mean, it's definitely an A for the Nets. I'm probably not going to give out an A+ to any trade. So
good for you.
I mean,
You're too cool for it.
The closest one would honestly probably be that Clippers trade. The Powell and Rocco, you give up nothing and you get 2 good rotation players. You literally gave up nothing. Bledsoe, Winslow, Keon Johnson in a second. Sure.
Yeah,
but I mean, obviously, like the scale, it's like the magnitude of this trade's bigger just because the players involved. So,
but you got to also factor in that Harden literally was hurting the team and he would have walked.
Yeah. And like, you know, again, it's like now that the trades happened, we're confirming everything that was loosely reported on before that we weren't sure about. So, I mean, if we're going to take this trade happening as like, yeah, this validates all those reports, then yeah, I don't think there really is much the Nets could have done to get better. Because if anything, if all those reports are true, the Sixers had way more leverage and probably shouldn't have had to give up Seth Curry. If the only other option was truly, yeah, you get Harden sandbagging for a half season and he comes here in the off season. If you look at it through that prism, yeah, it's a slam dunk for the Nets, and the Sixers maybe, you know, they have to win the title this year. like you said, like you're going all in for a half season when you could have waited.
Because then it gets to like the whole sunk cost series. Like if they don't win a title for the next 2 years, what do you do with Harden? What do you do?
Yeah,
because I guess you can't look backwards, but it's like, look at all you gave up for a year and a half of a guy that didn't win you a title. How do you possibly pay him $200+ mil?
260 mil. Yeah.
I
think the answer is you don't.
Yeah, but then it's like, well, we gave up this war chest for a year and a half, which I guess, again, you do have to go all in.
They didn't give up the total war chest though, because I'm sure they still have some of their own picks. And like, I mean, they still got Embiid, Maxey, Thibault.
But again, to me, picks don't really mean all that much for a good team that's going to be in the playoffs. It's like Ben Simmons was like a superstar player. He was their best asset other than Joel Embiid. So it's like they're getting to this point where they're going to be so far removed from the assets, all the assets they collected, where it's like, okay, that was the end and nothing came of it. The process was a failure.
How much are we going to, so like, I know we want to put stock into how bad Harden's looked when he's been obviously sandbagging. Are we going to put any stock into the games where he wasn't sandbagging and say, oh, like maybe he is actually this player and he's truly just been a douchebag. Because if you
tell
want
who that
to sit
motherfucker-
there and say he's a douchebag and he's sandbagging, you have to program into your trade value a progression to the mean.
I know, but I
because
can't
he's
tell when
playing
he's
below.
sandbagging, when he's hurt, how good he is, how bad he is. I can't tell.
That's fair. I mean, there's been too many smoke screens over the last 2 years.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about the whole Kyrie aspect of this thing? Because I heard that Harden was the first one was like, I have an issue how this is playing. Like, this isn't what I signed up for. Like,
I mean, again, it's all.
and then Kyrie's like, well,
speculation.
fine, fuck him then. Get him out of here.
Yeah. My issue with Kyrie is it's like, and maybe this is going to come off as insensitive, but like, if you're a part-time player, if you're not willing to, because like we were talking about earlier, Josh Hart, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, like if you're not going to do it for the guys you're in the foxhole with, just go the fuck away.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I feel about Kyrie being a part-time player.
That's fair. But I will also say, if you're really about winning, on the flip side of that, Kyrie playing part-time is going to help you win games more than him not playing at all. And so, like, if you really didn't give a fuck about pride or all that stuff, it'd be like, yeah, play part-time.
I mean, if I was Harden and I'm brought in there and I'm thinking I'm going to get one role and then things play out the way they do with Kyrie and you get another role and then you see, the whole organization bends to Kyrie's will because they have to.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like
That'd tick me off.
And again, like, I think Harden is 100% in the wrong. Like, the level of professionalism that he just constantly throws out the window, that's not something I would ever advocate for, but it's like,
But something you root for. Fucker.
No, but from the human perspective, it's like, I can see why he'd be like, yeah, this kind of fucking sucks. Like, we have a dog shit team. We have no shooting. Durant, he's injured all the time. Kyrie doesn't even want to play. Like, yeah, get me the fuck out. I want to go somewhere that actually wants to, like, they're about it. And Harden does not, like, I'm projecting onto Harden. He does not have the track record or reputation for me to project that onto him. But like, if I'm just purely trying to be empathetic and put myself in his shoes, I'd be like, yeah, I don't really want to be here either. Like, this kind of fucking sucks. I don't want to be out there playing with 4 power forwards who can't shoot and like asked to do everything when I don't want to do that. Yeah. But I mean, again, all that said, Harden was one of my top 5 favorite players in the league for a very, very long time.
You suck his sack from the back, dude. That's what you do.
In this, I mean,
guess what? There's been a million times along the way, you're like, you know what? I think he crossed the line. He'll never cross the line for you. He could literally kill someone. And
yeah, like, Kyrie for you.
Well, dude, you need to think about it from this, dude. Open your fucking eyes, because Kyrie literally has dethroned the Nets dynasty, and we owe him a debt of gratitude, dude. When they got James Harden,
yeah, Harden was doing the same shit. What are you talking about?
No. Hold on. When they added Harden to the Nets, you and I were both like, fuck this. This sucks.
Yeah.
The Nets are going to win 3 titles. Easy. Yeah. LeBron's days are numbered as a title, as a champion. They had
3 top 15 players at like Apex.
Yeah. Kyrie and his personal like preferences and interests have literally ruined Kevin like these 2 years.
Yeah, don't give him. You're giving him like credit.
He's helping
stuff
LeBron,
he shouldn't.
Dude.
That's not his intent, though.
I know it's unintentional, and I have personal issues with some of Kyrie's decisions, but
oh my god,
he helped prevent a 4-peat for the Warriors.
Facts is
he
facts.
Took down the Celtics when they were looking so promising.
Yeah,
he is currently taking down what would have been one of the greatest teams ever assembled. It's him. It's his actions.
So don't shit on Harden for being a sandbagger when that's all Kyrie's ever done in his sorry ass career. How about
that? The difference is, dude, is Kyrie is sandbagging Kevin Durant and his legacy, and that is so important to me.
Right. Harden's only sabotaging his own legacy. That's where the issue lies.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Because like Kyrie, I mean, it'd be weird to know what Kyrie's trade value is. Like, I literally,
if they said, "Hey, he's
him, dude,"
yeah, I would.
Like,
if my team, if it was like Pritch's, or Rick Carlisle's eyeballing Kyrie, I'd be like, this is a line in the sand. That'd be an interesting question.
Thank you, Kyrie, for derailing the Nets dynasty. I actually do appreciate
fuck
that
you,
shit, dude. I'm serious, dude. It was crazy. I saw the stat today. And I would have never. And this is why.
Just be thanking Giannis for that shit.
Yeah, well, thank Giannis too. I mean, yeah, a team without James Harden and Kyrie almost still took out the Bucks. That's how dangerous they were. That's how fucking good KD is, and I hate to say that,
True.
but it's
Second best
crazy,
player
dude.
ever.
I saw on Reddit that they only played 16 games together.
They
That
were
is a
13 and
tragedy,
3.
dude.
Yeah.
And it just goes to show, like we talk about all the time, is like if you see a fucking opportunity, you fucking take it, because this looked like something that was going to be here for multiple years, multiple title appearance, multiple finals appearances, most likely multiple titles, and they are getting out of here.
It's a case for the Harden trade in the Sixers right there, though.
I agree.
Nothing's ever a given.
Yeah, I agree. And that's the only reason I didn't give an F- because it's like, well, what if Harden does play well and they do win a title? Then it'll be an A+ in hindsight.
Yeah,
but
forever
like,
an A+.
It's kind of like that risk versus probability, like what I feel is actually going to happen versus what could happen. And I'm weighing those things, and I don't feel like they'll win a title just based on the fit and some of the things they gave up.
I have 2 more questions on this trade.
Question
1. Which team do you think is more likely to win the title this year with these trades?
If Kevin Durant is fully healthy, and if Kyrie Irving, who knows if they lift.
I don't want ifs. The trade that happened today.
Okay, I feel like Kevin Durant will be healthy. I think the Nets will win the title.
You think they'll win because this trade?
Title. Yeah.
Dang.
They beat last year's finals champion without their second and third best player. They very well could have.
This ain't the same team, though.
Yeah,
I mean they're sitting as the 8th seed. They're on a 10-game losing streak.
We've seen a million times, dude. With LeBron, players of that caliber, a seed literally doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, the seed will not matter with them, but
especially in Eastern Conference,
it might.
Dude.
Seed might actually matter more with them than any other team ever.
Yeah,
in
that's
history
true.
Due to Kyrie.
I know, but what I'm saying though is I think the NY. That's why you said not to get into ifs, but the NYC mandate for like getting vaccinated at large events, it seems like it might be going by the wayside, which would mean Kyrie could be a full-time player, presumably.
I thought there was something counter-reporting to that it.
Oh, maybe there was.
I'm not sure though. I'm not sure.
But I think just with KD healthy and Ben Simmons and the rest of those players, I personally, if I had to bet money on one team at the Eastern Conference, it'd be them.
That's fair.
What do you say, Philly?
Man, I think I'm just too high on Embiid, and the thing we've talked about for a good few years now. Where it's like,
I'm that low on Harden. Like only he could freaking bring down Joel Embiid or Kyrie.
I think I don't know, man. I'm just if Embiid's healthy and can maintain this level, I just don't know who can stop him.
James Harden.
I think
playoff Harden, dude. That's who could stop him. Let me think. 5 for 23,
hater.
7 turnovers. That's what. Okay. Hey, look at Harden's playoff record, dude. I'm sorry. Facts are facts.
Hey, that's fair. There's nothing I can dispute there. I think just with the uncertainty around KD and Kyrie, I think there's more uncertainty around them than James Harden. But I think Harden's going to be. I think there might even be a honeymoon period. I think
thank fucking God I'm not on the Nets.
Well, yeah, I think and it seems like Harden's very much aware of his public persona and how this is going to impact that. So, and again, this might just be the Harden truther apologist in me, but if there was ever a time where we would see a motivated James Harden, this would be the only time.
This is
his last chance.
Yeah,
it's literally his last chance for me to ever believe in him, and I'm gonna do it. I think the Sixers have a slightly higher.
Fucking bitch.
I just do, dude. I'm sorry, but Kevin Durant's injuries, and Kyrie. I mean, he could potentially miss an entire multiple series. And I mean, we see what they look.
Series.
Toronto.
Oh, right.
Which the seeding would have to get all fucky for that to happen now that the Nets have dropped so low.
I still think the Nets could beat the Toronto Raptors with KD and Ben Simmons and Seth Curry.
Yeah.
I guess I'm putting all my eggs in the basket of Kevin Durant will be healthy come playoff time.
See, and that's just not a bet I'm willing to take. Just given the way things have gone the last couple of years for him. Seems like there's always something now. But yeah, I don't know. Do you want to move on to the next one? I think we got 6 more trades.
Yeah.
And I think one other big one. We got Derek. This one's kind of big. Derek White to the Celtics for Josh Richardson, Romeo Langford, a 2022 Boston pick, and a 2028 pick swap.
Does the Boston pick a first rounder?
The one this year is top 1 to 4 protected. So the Spurs gave up Derek White for Josh Richardson, Romeo Langford, a pick swap, and then
knee-jerk reaction.
This year's first.
I saw this trade. I didn't really. When I saw it, I thought like this, but now that I really thought about the details, I give the Spurs a fucking A.
Yeah,
Derek White's good, but he doesn't move the needle that much. To get a first-round pick, a young player in Romeo Langford, Josh Richardson, who seems to provide value where, if he ever finds a place to settle down at, but it's like, fuck.
Yeah. And I think where the Spurs are at in the standings, I think they did the exact right moves that they needed to at the deadline. They could probably fight for the play-in to the extent that they were going to anyways with the talent that they've retained. Like, these guys aren't going to make a drastic difference for them, I feel like, in that chase. It's still just going to be like young guys, roll the ball out, let them play. But they've accumulated, a little war chest of picks through this trade deadline. So, yeah, I feel the same way. This one feels like a B+ for the Celtics, especially with the kind of run that they've been on lately.
The Celtics with adding Derek White.
Mm-hmm. And then I think it's probably an A or an A- for the Spurs. I just wanted to see. Derek White's going to be on a good contract. They have him through 24-25 at $18.8 million. That's a lot to a team. So yeah, that seems like a smart trade for both teams, really. The next one is the Torrey Craig for Jalen Smith and a future second.
Tell me what you think, Pacers fan.
I think this is like a B+ for both teams. Suns always loved Torrey Craig when he was there.
Yeah.
He's doing no good on the Pacers. Like, he is the rotation switchable forward for a playoff team. Pacers aren't going to be anywhere near the playoffs. So he has zero value for them and all the value in the world for the Suns. And to go, kind of continue the theme, but like, Jalen Smith was a lottery pick 2 years ago. I'd say take a shot on him. The Pacers got a lot of big man minutes that they're trying to fill up with young players, and
that is true.
Might as well add him to the list, see which one sticks around, which ones develop. So hard not to be happy about that trade. What did you think?
I'll do a double barrel B+, dude.
Nice.
Just because, like you said, like the Pacers have such a just massive chasm in the front court that they like, hey, we have so many guys
with injury too. It's just like there
are so many minutes. It's like they're kind of in the same spot as the Pistons. Like, let's fucking just put a bunch of young guys out there, see which ones sink, see which ones swim.
Literally, if they only played Jalen Smith, Goga, Isaiah Jackson, Terry Taylor, and O'Shea Brissett, if they were the only guys that got big minutes the rest of the season, I'd be so happy with that.
Well, that's why I was kind of confused when they were already talking about trading Jalen Smith. I'm like, fuck, like Pacers go for it. Like, see what he's literally a lottery pick. But
the thing that got me was like, I don't know if the Pacers really wanted to trade him so much as there was a lot of interest in Jalen Smith prior to this trade happening. So I'm sure the Pacers, the Suns probably called because they wanted Torrey Craig. And the Pacers were like, okay, we'll take this and this back. And then I'm sure those same teams that wanted Jalen Smith when he was on the Suns were still calling the Pacers like, hey, can we get in on this as a 3-team, blah, 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 whatever. But ultimately they stood pat. I think they only had like 15 minutes after they got him to even get a deal done. So, who knows? I'd say let him play the second half of the season, see what he is. And, if you like him, hold on to him. If you don't, trade him around the draft. Somebody will be there to pick him up. So,
yeah, I will say, like you said, Torrey Craig is such a perfect swing man with size and strength for a playoff contender. So it's like you can never have too many of those guys on your team, I feel like.
Well, that was the frustrating part. It's like when they signed him to that 2 years, 10 mil.
Yeah, we were both like, holy fuck.
Awesome deal. I was like, this is perfect. What a great
deal. Yeah.
But they just couldn't, they're not the team that they wanted.
They couldn't win 25 games.
Pretty much. I'm telling you, dude, Jabari Smith, aka Chet Holmgren time. The next trade we have is a low key banger. Montrez
big hog.
Harrell, Montrez to the Hornets. Vernon Carey, Ish Smith, and a future second to the Wizards.
What is this? The 13th time Ish Smith's been on the Wizards now?
Yeah, seriously, the guy. Talk about like what the career totals for the Basketball Reference where it shows by team. He's gonna have like 12 teams on that when it's all said.
I think there's a chance. I looked at this the other day. Like, I forget who's got the record. Like last time I knew who had the record was Tony Massenberg. But in terms of players,
he had the
with
4
most
teams in one
played,
season.
Yeah, I just think that Ish Smith has played for so many goddamn teams, dude. He's played for New Orleans. I know that much.
And I bet too, like not so much with him, but through the COVID stuff, I bet we're gonna see some more weird stuff like that as time goes on. But yeah, Ish Smith's already played for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think 12 teams already, which is crazy.
Yeah, and he seems to, provide some value everywhere he goes. I think I would say that I give the Hornets a minus.
Sorry, it was kind of cutting out for a second there.
My bad. I was just going to say I'd give the Hornets an A minus, just because you're adding a contributor on a team and they're trying to actually win games. And then for the Wizards, I'd give like a B, just because like they gave up something. They didn't get much in return, but it's like, they're not trying to win. So
yeah, I mean, I guess you'd hope for more than like a future second round pick. You'd hope for like, a decent second in this year's draft or something for Montrez, but it just seems like for whatever reason, there's just never going to be a market for him, no matter how well he plays.
I don't understand.
He could be 15 and 10, shooting 65% from the field, and still wouldn't get the respect he deserves.
Right. Shout out to Montrez.
Yeah, seriously. It looks like the Wizards were doing a lot of stuff to kind of change their cash position, because the next trade, as well as they shipped out Aaron Holiday for cash considerations. So you can. And then
Sorry, you cut out there. Could you repeat that?
Do you just want to stop and make a second one?
Let's just
starting to cut out pretty bad.
Let's just power through.
Okay.
Let's go quick.
Aaron Holiday for cash considerations. It's a nothing burger, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'd give an A for the team acquiring Aaron Holiday and an F for the cash considerations.
Yeah, same. The next trade we have is kind of a big one. It's the Dinwiddie Davis Bertans for Kristaps and a future second. I don't know.
Tell me what you think. I have a strong opinion on this.
I think this is a disaster. I think the Mavericks just lost Luka. I think there had to be more out there for Kristaps than this. I think he's played well this season. I get injury concerns are there, but I think what they did in this trade is they have more long-term money on their books, which that was the drawback of Kristaps. That's what you wanted to get rid of. So for them to get 2 worse players, more long-term money, it doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. Just a quick grade, I'd give the Dallas Mavericks D+, and that's out of respect to Spencer Dinwiddie. And I give the Wizards like probably a B+.
I'm giving out the rare double F, dude. I was like, both these teams fucking, like you said, the Wizards, what are they trying to do by adding, like, okay, Porzingis, maybe you're like getting him when his value's low and they're not giving up much, but it's like at this point, Porzingis is overpaid. Did you see what Legler said about Porzingis? He's like, they call him the unicorn because you never see him. So I thought that was pretty funny. And then the other thing,
that was pretty scathing.
Yeah, and then the other, I mean, Spencer Dinwiddie's a ball dominant guard playing next to another ball dominant guard. And so, and then I think, you've known my feelings about Bertans for a couple of years now. I think he's on the level of Harden in terms of fuck him. And how much he cares about winning and all that stuff. So
I mean, that guy played for one contract.
And no, that's all he completely sold out his team to get more money, and now he doesn't produce at all, and he's one of the worst contracts in the league. So fuck him, and both teams get an F.
Yeah, I guess I'm much higher on Kristaps, but I've been impressed with his game this season. So
yeah.
Last trade, Celtics, the return of Daniel Tice for Dennis Schroeder, Enes Freedom, and Bruno Fernando. Pretty sure Enes Freedom's already been waived.
Chop sueyed.
Yeah, he's gone, bought out, whatever. So Celtics added Daniel Tice.
He's back.
they're just, I mean, I'm interested to hear your thoughts on this trade.
I don't know. It just doesn't really move the needle for me. Like I'll say the Rockets, they're just trying to get like I think we both were like, why the fuck they signed Daniel Tice in the first place?
Mm-hmm.
Or why did they get him in the first place? I forget if he was traded for or signed, but
I think they signed him.
Yeah, it's like that made no sense at the time. And he's getting to go back to Boston, which is good for him. I guess the Rockets get off a contract. They already cut Enos.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Rockets didn't really get anything out of it other than getting off of money. So, and then because I mean, everything I've heard is they're going to cut Schroeder, or waive him.
He's gonna be first buyout candidate,
buyout guy. Yeah. So,
it seems strange to me. Like I get that the Celtics are doing good, and I've tried to praise them more so than I have in the past. But like, first they bring back Horford, now Daniel Tice. It's just weird. Like, I like the Derek White move. I like the Daniel Tice move for what they gave up.
Yeah, they got some front court depth. Yeah,
I don't know. It's just weird. I think they could have probably gone out for another center or something. I don't know.
Yeah. What would you give the trade?
So
what would you give the trade?
I don't even know if there's anything to say about the Rockets. It almost seems like they're just doing a favor to Tice to send him where he wants to go.
Yeah.
And I'd be shocked if any of those players that they got back are on the team within like 2 weeks. So I'd say like an F for them, because that's a fucking stupid trade to make. The Celtics at whatever, C+, if they got the guy that they like and chemistry's already there, and I don't think Daniel Tice moves the needle a whole lot, but I like their overall moves at the deadline, I guess I would say.
Yeah, I'll give a C to Boston, or no, C to Houston, excuse me, just because they got some money, but I'll give a C+ to Boston for adding to some front court depth, which I know can be an issue for them at times. So
yeah. Well, and the other thing that I was kind of worried, because it looked like they were going to move off Grant Williams. That was a rumor that I'd heard, and I was
really?
That doesn't seem like the right move. So I guess to me they win for not doing that, because I think Grant Williams is a good player, and they added Derek White, and but anyways, that we don't want to go grading teams because we'd have to rehash a whole lot of shit here. But no, I think that covers pretty much all of it. I mean, we hinted at the Westbrook stuff. Kind of shocked that trade didn't get done, especially when it sounds like they had the John Wall for Westbrook in the 2027 pick, and Lakers ultimately didn't want to make that deal, even though it was there waiting for them. So
did I see something that like Pelinka has not made a trade at the deadline in like 3 or 4 years?
Yeah, something like that.
I saw a bunch of memes on Lakers Reddit. It was like Pelinka today, and it was like somebody sleeping in their bed.
Yeah, I saw something about he was at Disneyland. I was like, is that even real? What the fuck? Like,
there's no effing way.
Yeah, so I'm sure we got plenty to talk about on the Lakers front over the next couple of weeks. So
yeah. Oh, another interesting piece. T-Rod did not get traded. So
true.
If Terrence Ross does not get bought out, 1/2 of the wager is fulfilled. Which he's a good chance he gets bought out, but who knows? The Hawks are playing well lately, but that was something I had my eye on today. So
yeah,
Magic.
That was one trade I was really pulling for the Lakers, though. From being totally honest,
you need just another aging 3-and-D guy who's not going to give you much 3 and much D. That seems to be
he's a microwave, dude. They need older Malik Monk.
Yeah, I like T-Rod. No disrespect.
Yeah, why are you hating on him, dude?
He's cool.
Give him a shot. But anyways, I think that covers it. I mean, we've been going for quite a while.
10 hours. The 10-hour Extravatacular.
I'm hot as balls in here. So
thanks, viewers, for putting up with the brief technical difficulties. I don't know. I think Zoom is trying to tell us to shut the fuck up once we go this long. It's like
yeah. Dude,
they're lowering the bandwidth. Dude, that's what
Zoom's censoring us. Zoom is censoring us.
Yeah, they see how much we're talking. They're like, they got to pay for this shit. We're going to drop their bandwidth.
Seriously.
Fucks.
Like my ISP's already doing that. Fucking bitches.
Yeah, let's get you on some of that fiber, homie.
I'm trying to, dude. ETA about fucking 1 month. Actually, my install date's March 12th. So let's get it, man. All right. That'll probably do it for the Wax Chronicles this week. Yeah, good shit. If you guys have any thoughts on the trade deadline, put them down below. Make sure drop a like.
Or
drop a sub if you're trying to be on the Hall of Pimps.
Yeah, if you want to be in the Hall of Pimps / Hall of Flame. You know what you got to do.
Yeah.
So anyway,
You already
signing
know
off.
who it is.
Sign it off,
right.
bro.
Latro at